nice city, a day in the life. I was on my own, catching a ride with the lady. Her hair hangs down past her thighs, blue pistol shit. Satisfies, leather jacket, zipped up tight. And big ones come and look for lost and found. Iron gleams, bright and night city, where your appetite went to out your sunlight. It was my feeling that me up alright. It's a danger pretty here in night city. Here in nice city, got me up alright. Here in nice city. She pulls my trigger, got me up alright. It's a danger pretty here in our city. She pulls my trigger, got me up alright. It's a danger pretty here in our city. Here in our city, got me up alright. Here in our city. She pulls my trigger, got me up alright. It's a danger pretty here in our city. My own, catching a ride.
Sorry.
Hello everybody, and welcome. I am on the wrong mic, one moment. Hello everybody, and welcome now to Charlotte Roval for a very emotional night. I'm Christina Ryan, and welcome to the 5th and final broadcasted round of the 2022-2023 ABN IndyCar Series preseason challenge. We are currently midway through our practice session. And yeah, kind of a casual intro, a bit bittersweet. Not much to say other than we're in for a show, as we always have been with this car, and it's going to be one to look forward to. Of course, this track is not a stranger to these cars either. Looking at the 5th round of what were 10 scheduled, these will still be going on anyways, but we have the infamous Charlotte Roval here for tonight. It is a partly cloudy night, sunset, racing into the sunset, a bit fitting for this place. Nice 79 degrees Fahrenheit, and not too humid here in Charlotte. A bit blustery, but between the grandstands, we should be in for not too much trouble there. And yeah, not much else to say. Just an exciting night ahead of us here. Currently 13 minutes to go in practice until we get to qualifying, and currently Emma Kruger atop the leaderboard, as you see there, but she's not on track at the moment. See from the leaderboard, or the track map rather, on the top right, Riley Dunn is the one out front at the moment of those on track. The Phoenix, Arizona native has scored a top 10 in ABN competition, and that or top 5 rather, in Mid-Ohio. Haven't seen much of the rookie on and off, but here for Nicholas Presley E Motorsports, a good turnout so far to say goodbye to a car that we have so much history with and so much fun with. Lots of cameras here tonight. Let me know what you guys are all thinking about it. Really wanted to give a good send-off here, so I've gone through the liberty of creating several camera groups to really showcase these liveries, these drivers' talents, and these cars in the best way possible on a track that is so fun to drive on, especially with these cars. You see Riley Dunn there just barely clipping the wall and still full throttle there as he chases down Emma Kruger, who is currently atop the leaderboard by about a second. Angel Hernandez there as well, and Carmen Hardy, who is racing on a broken foot, left foot braking tonight. Probably the one who's going to be the most affected of all of us through tonight's event. She currently reveling in that one win that she got to kick off the season. Probably very thankful that it came when it did, to be able to do that in front of the audience and be able to bring that number 96 to victory lane. Looking for one more attempt at one here on broadcast on a track that she loves so very much. It's going to be an absolute monumental feat if she can do it, provided the injuries she sustained. But if there's ever been an Iron Woman in this sport, it is going to be Carmen. She has done some incredible things in her racing career, and I'm sure she has plenty more to come. Just ahead of her, you see there was Olivia Hayward, another driver who is still looking actually for her first win, but has been on the podium on 3 different occasions. The number 72 machine. The fact that she hasn't clinched a win in this car yet is not at all a testament to her driving skill. It has simply been misfortune or fate, because she has had more than enough talent to bring that car to victory lane. tonight could be a night for her to do it. She doesn't seem as confident as she probably would have wanted to be, but anything can happen on a track like this, and it usually does. The Roval is one for chaos. It thrives on it. Big curbs, sharp corners, walls all around you. It runs a lot like a street circuit. As you see Hayward spinning there just a bit, and in the back there, I think that might have been Sasek. Not quite. No, it wasn't Sasek. I think that was Lilac Zier that actually tagged the wall behind her in the 89 machine. So Zier, another driver who has found victory lane in the Bygent Judd competition car. Callie Bygent is actually here on the roster. So the Brighton native finally going to get to race with her teammate one time at all, in fact. And I'm being told I need to refresh my trading paint, so let me get on that. And yes, normally we would have Strix Pulsatrix joining us in the booth. She is currently driving her little wings off in a Yes2 Motorsport truck endurance at Crandon, so wishing her team the best of luck there. Not able to join us in the booth for this finale, at least not at the moment, and probably won't be able to for the night, but happy to wish her good luck, of course, and we know that she's going to be kicking some butt on the dirt tonight. So drifting that truck out a little bit. I'll be sure to try and award an honorary ESDA Pro license tonight if I can. And there's the update on Hayward, as she's in that old classic colors that we've seen from the Prismatic Motorsports, ones that I'm rather familiar with as well. And with 8 minutes to go in practice, we're going to get ready for some qualifying action. It's going to be really fun. And this is something interesting too, because of course you have the drivers that, you know, weren't super familiar with this car yet, like Frankie Francicia, that podium in Suzuka, that incredible race at Suzuka, probably one of the best we've had ever. Just consistently good racing. Looking to have another one. I've been more excited for the road courses than the ovals personally, and that coming from me says a lot. It's going to be a really fun one to watch, I think. You're going to be wanting to stay tuned tonight. It's a beautiful racetrack. It's a beautiful time of day. We're literally sailing off into the sunset right now, and hopefully we can give these cars the show that they deserve. So currently it's Kruger, Hernandez, Dunn, and Hardy, the top four, as drivers continue to flood in. Ruby Estes is here, as well as Bryce Saucier, Jason Seamer-Rusti, Eli Sasek, Lily Pelletier-Sharp, Eric Navarani, Bygent, as I mentioned, I think making her first start in ABN competition tonight, Blake Henderson, and co. So, yeah. It's going to be super, super, super fun here for ABN, and don't forget the huge curbs that weirdos call turtles. Thank you, Sign-On, for the 100 bits. Yes, the sausage curbs, I refuse to call them anything else, are going to be something to watch as well. I had a few experiences with those myself, a few GIFs about cry about it, or how what have you, popping out. But yeah, it should be a really entertaining one to watch. And these beautiful, beautiful angles. Not to pat myself on the back too hard, but a lot of work went into these over the last night, and I'm so far already. I hope it is a noticeable difference. I hope it is something that we can all appreciate together, because I really was hoping to give these cars what they deserved. So about 6 minutes to go, and then we'll have a round of qualifying, final group qualifying on ABN broadcast for these cars. Again, if you're not familiar with what's going on, in short, licensing issues not allowing us to broadcast this car anymore after the 31st of January, and I think it goes without, or 31st of December rather, and I think it goes without saying that is an absolute shame, but it is what it is, and hopefully it won't last forever. I hope that we can be back in these cars come time for the actual start of the season. Hopefully iRacing can work something out, but we're treating this one like it's the last, because it very well could be. And as much of a shame as that is, we got one more amazing race on tap for tonight with some of the best drivers in the league and some of the best drivers in the business. So very excited to get things underway. Very excited to see what the Roval has in store for us. Of course, it was an insane race last time out. All kinds of things causing could not necessarily confusion, but we had a couple of safety cars. I think it was one of the few road courses that we actually had double safety cars in, or more than one rather, and it was a very entertaining one. There was a lot of back and forth, a lot of calamity. There's going to be a lot to try to stay on top of tonight, and we're going to try to do our best to do that, of course. It's a one-woman show for now. We're going to have, of course, Carmen Hardy as our in-race reporter at stages throughout tonight's event. So we see Carmen right behind Olivia Hayward now as Hayward continues to try to get to grips with this track. Carmen, for someone with a broken foot, absolutely on it tonight. I'm surprised that, ooh, and look at that nice little avoidance there on Hayward. I am almost completely surprised that she is even within a second of Kruger right now, given the injuries she sustained. Of course, it was a non-racing related injury, but it was a injury to her foot nonetheless. It is broken. She's in a boot. So, yeah. She makes her way around stock car 3 and 4. And through the chicane. Plenty of chicanes here. Such a fun track to drive. See if we can ride on board with the queen of ABN, the one who behind it all. The Kentucky native. Oh my goodness, gets into, I think, again, that was Lilac Zier that crashed. Couldn't get off the racing line in time and couldn't get out of the way. Nowhere for Carmen to go there, so unfortunately, not going to get that lap that we had wanted to see. But those things happen. Hopefully they get the sillies out in time. Of course, it's a very close quarters track. You see Hayward now and Angel Hernandez. Hayward there. They're all extending that track. That is a legal thing to do. You are more than welcome to take as much of that as you choose. On board now with Hernandez. Looking for a top 5 tonight. Also best finish at Suzuka in 7th. So looking pretty good. Of course, Red Skogan was quite an interesting event. And you can already see with the different speeds and cars on slower tires, newer tires, and now we got another car around. Oh, that was Navarani that's just clobbered by Hernandez and Hayward. So. Forgive me while I adjust what I should have adjusted before the stream started, but better late than never. Hernandez is going to pull out of the track now, and we are riding on board with Emma Kruger, who may give us a nice ride around this track. Go ahead and pull up the track map if we can. See if the curse stops affecting us here. But back onto stock car 1. Nice little flick chicane here. Not chicane rather, but a flick corner. You can use a lot of that banking. Trust that car. Again, this is one of those tracks that are fun in sports cars, open wheelers. Even in the stock cars, it's what they were built for. Very fun. Get right up against that wall and get ready, power down. Using all of the apron that she can before she merges back onto the track. We'll see what she can do here through the chicane. It should be a pretty good lap from our current leader. And she'll start the lap now. Really good placement on those curbs, taking the most out of those sausage curbs. Right up against the wall, maximizing every inch of the track is going to be so important tonight to get the most speed out. It's so easy to give up time. Of course, you can run wide on corners like this one. Still barely touches the grass. Emma placing that car absolutely inch perfect. Look at how close she gets to that wall there. Clips on this curb here. Uses that banking to ride a little bit. Nearly clips the wall there. Nearly clips the tire wall. This is how a fast lap around this track looks. You have to get comfortable with the wall. Those who fear the wall will find it. Those who don't may still find it, but they're a lot less likely to be smacking them throughout the event tonight. And a little too much oversteer there into that second chicane, but that was a beautiful lap up until then. She'll get back on it again and give it another shot. So hopefully we can get on board with somebody who can give us a full lap around this circuit. But it seems like the commentator cursed out in full force tonight, and I apologize in advance. On board with Peltier Sharp as she gets to grips here. Another car. Oh, that was a big impact there, actually, right in front. She does a good job to slow down. Oh, someone who does not do a very good job of slowing down. I think that was Zier. That wasn't Zier, excuse me. I don't know who that was. I think it was Cali Agent that plowed in there and got into that crash ahead. I think it might have been Henderson that actually spun there, and Callie finding her way into it. So good heads-up driving by Pelletier Sharp. Still Callie in her first race here, trying to get up to grips with the car and the spatial awareness as we get things moving. So it is the end of practice, though. We'll get ready for a 20-minute qualifying session. Curious to see who the first car on track is going to be, because that's probably the first one to put the lap down as long as they don't crash. Estes and Pelletier Sharp in the pit lane. And it looks like Pelletier Sharp, the first one on track, as she tends to like to be. Fresh off a suspension from ABN competition. New look on that car, looking very nice for Gear Cats, and hoping to start off again on the right foot. Very quick driver from France. See what she can do here. She will kick us off for the start of qualifying. Nabarani, Hayward, Estes, Sasek, Kruger, among others, all leaving the pit lane. So things underway here, and we'll see what happens. Big attack on the curbs from Lily as she makes her way now up through the gears in turn number 3 on the stock car side of things. Lets it fade up a bit, trying to get that maximum run, I believe, down into the chicane. Now, it doesn't really matter everything up until now, because now you want to get a good exit to start that lap, and around she goes. Too much curb early on there. That's going to cost her a bit. Obviously, she crosses the line. And the same thing for Estes in the background. So another one around. I think it's actually going to be Hayward, the first one to actually start a lap without issue. We'll see what Olivia can do here in the number 72. Again, looking for her first career win in ABN competition. Of course, she is no stranger to victory lane in other series. She's been on the podium several times in these cars. She's a bit of a making a bit of a name for herself on the restrictor plate tracks in the NASCAR cars. She's, of course, got her first Court Cup Series win on Talladega against some of the best plate racers on the service in Court. She's also got herself several A Open and a few A Fixed, I believe, wins in her career on the plate track. She's seen great success there. Has great success in this car on the road courses. The ovals have not been her hot spot, but she's been struggling a bit. Says she's not really in the headspace as far as having the speed tonight, but she's going to negotiate one of the Bygent Judd competition cars and come into the final corner through that chicane, flick it in there. Very nice lap indeed, and it's going to be the first one on the board. And it's going to be a 104.98, so that's where the things are starting right now. Not a bad lap at all from the number 72. Here's Emma Kruger coming down. She's probably going to be the next one to try and put a lap down. Of course, first on practice, has been one of the top contenders through road courses this season. Starting her lap now. Sasek puts down a lap a half second slower than Hayward. Whoa, Kruger really letting that rear end hang out, just clipping the grass and touch. Might have been netcode, to be fair. She definitely clips it there. So Sasek with a good lap. Pelletier Sharp going for another go here. Kruger trying to clean that line. Of course, we saw how disciplined and how on the inch perfect line she was. Let's see if she can get it done here. It was up in this corner where she made her mistake. Is that a wing on the track? Yes, there was a bit of a wing on the track. Of course, that won't affect Kruger besides being a visual distraction. Very slow and tidy through that chicane. A lot of drivers are so aggressive through there. She opts to be very cautious. This could be one of those things that help her out a lot. It'll definitely help her car last. Seema Rusti puts down a lap time, as does Bygent. Through the final corner, a little more aggressive, but staying away from the sausage curbs. Kruger across the line. It's a 103.44, 1 second clear of Olivia Hayward, and now she's going to smack the wall, and I think that should have taken the front wing off of her car. I think she's okay. Yeah, she's just gotten brushed up there. That's going to happen a bit tonight. You can get away with a little bit of kissing on that wall. You just can't hit it too hard. See what she can get done here on that second lap. I wonder if she's going to continue to push. Ruby Estes puts down a lap time, but so far it's Kruger and Hayward leading the way, and Kruger the only one in the 103s so far. Carmen puts down a lap time good enough for 4th at the moment. And boy, I tell you what, I know she wanted to win this race. She felt so confident. She adores this track, but if Carmen could put this thing on the podium with a broken foot, that would be an incredible effort from the number 96 machine in a race that I think a lot of people would argue she shouldn't even be in given those injuries, and Kruger's going to come in for some fresh tires. But Hardy really laying it all out tonight. It is the last broadcast race for the IR-18 in a car that she so dearly adores, on a track that she dearly adores, really wanting to give her best effort, driving on opposite feet, so, and she's put down an even better time, and it's going to scoot her not up any positions, but a little closer to Eli Sasek, so in podium flirting potential, and only 1.3 seconds off of Kruger, so only about 4/10 off of second place Hayward right now, and to do that on a broken foot is absolutely incredible. Of course, she is our in-race reporter. We'll have a word with her in the pre-race warm-up, and we'll try to have a word with her at a few stages throughout the race if we can. Just listening on board as she makes her way around the circuit into those chicanes. Gladiator of a driver through and through. Even back in the old console days on Gran Turismo, she never let a little bit of pain stop her from doing what she loves, and into the pit lane now to get some fresh tires for the number 96 machine, and a little pit stop practice on the fly in qualifying. That's the nice thing about these qualifying sessions, are basically you get to practice that pit in, because these drivers are going to have to burn all of that fuel off, give themselves another set of tires, and go at it again and again and again. So Henderson puts a time on the board. Peltier Sharp still trying to find her way around for a clean lap to put herself on the board. Some drivers may struggle to do that, while Henderson and Bygent and Estes, for example, may not have very competitive lap times at the moment. They are on the board, and that is in itself a bit of a feat. As we see there, that was Eric Nabarani that had gone around in the 39 for Stepping Stone Motorsports. Kind of an example of what happens when you do push a little too far. You can't quite get that lap in, so it's better to get a slow lap in than no lap at all. Here's Bren Roberts very much crawling around here. His only win in Champ Car so far came in the closest finish on ABN broadcast, which of course was in these cars in the Fontana finale in the regular season of Champ Car. Probably one of the most exciting races of the entire roster of videos we have and streams. Of course, no one can forget how insane that finish was. It had to come down to video because it was a tie in the iRacing scoring, timing and scoring. It went to the 4th decimal place. Bren Roberts ultimately the winner by the 4th decimal place and by video review. So kind of insane to think about it in that sense, but see what the Coca-Cola car can do, coming through the final chicane now and starting a lap. We're about halfway through qualifying, 9 drivers on the board. Right now it's Emma Kruger leading the way, and it looks like it's going to be a pretty tough lap time for anybody to beat. Hayward looking like a pretty comfortable 2nd place right now. Sasek and Hardy in full fight for that podium position, but right now they're both starting on that 2nd row. Bren a little bit deep there, gets a little bit on the tires. Not going to hurt too much, though. Of course, it's not wide enough for a 1X, so all should be well. The 1MA driver making his way now through onto the oval. Number 84 machine, a Coca-Cola livery, pretty much synonymous now with Bren Roberts. As he makes his way into the backstretch chicane. And gets very friendly with that safer barrier, and now making his way, keeping it nice and tight on that blue line, pretty much on the blue line, in fact. James Wright has entered the fight as well. Riley Dunn, Zach McBride, among others, now joining as we get through qualifying. A nice and tidy lap for Bren Roberts. I don't think it's going to be quite up there for pole position, but it's a very nice one indeed. puts him in P7, not too terribly far off, and ooh, clips the wall there on the exit of T1. It is so hard to get a lap together to stay together, and Carmen Hardy has just gone second fastest on a broken foot. Absolutely incredible scenes from the 26-year-old. She really wants it tonight, and really starting to look like a contender for a podium. Absolutely incredible. And still digging too, still looking for a little more. Getting alongside Eric Navarani there and trying to clear the rookie for Stepping Stone into the chicane, taking it nice and tidy. It is so difficult to try and change your entire philosophy driving on a completely opposite foot. You know your feet very well. You need to use both of them in some situations, but Carmen not able to do that, obviously, given her injuries. Being able to reverse everything, come out here, and still put down a lap time for P2 is absolutely insane. And still looking for more. Now the fight is on between her and Hayward to see who can get that second position. Oh, a little bit of a slide there by Carmen. She does a good job hanging on to it. Oh, and slides it again and hangs on to it there. So even some really good car control given the situation for her. Absolutely insane, honestly. Big props to the 96 machine, and I'm sure she's going to come into the pit lane and try to cool those tires off and give it another go. So Hayward now charging up. Not for sure if she's on a fast lap right now or not. Might be charging up for one. And no, it looks like she's on an in lap rather, and I'm going to come into the pit lane and try and get some fresh tires and go at it again. Kruger, on the other hand, coming into the final chicane now once again, and across the line for number 70, that red and black car, striking fear into most of the grid at this point. Of course, she's no slouch, the road course trophy winner for 2022. Doing that on a half season, mind you. So well done to the Gear Cats leader. Callie Bygent there, 66 machine. She tries to negotiate. Oh, and gets a little bit loose. Can she hang on to it there? She will. Really good bit of driving there. Hit that curb a little too hard. You saw on that angle how the car bounced around. Did a brilliant job not to hit the wall. Holds onto the car. It's going to end her lap, obviously, but she's going to get it gathered up and have another attempt here. Here's Hayward. What can she do? Carmen not too far behind. She's going to go for another one as well. And it's Kruger across the line. I don't know. Oh, she's clipped the wall a bit there. I think she has not improved, so she's still burning off the fuel a bit. I think it's going to be eyes on Carmen as she comes around now onto the back straightaway, or rather Hayward, as she's going to start her lap before Carmen. And I know that she's going to be starting a lap at least because she had just come out of the pit lane. So we'll see what the 72 machine can do as she searches for her first win in ABN Champ Car competition. Nicely done over the curbs. Good setup. So we'll see what she can get done here through T1. Looking pretty clean so far. Bounces over the curbs. The car disciplined enough to hold on through this big camber corner. It gives you quite a bit of banking to play with. Sends you into a left-hander with just the right amount of banking to get through the corner. Not more than an inch between that concrete wall that separates turn 1 from the re-entry to oval 1. Now nice and tight on that blue line. Pushing for all you've got, trying to get the best exit possible to send you into this corner, which is kind of a make or break turn into this chicane. Some traffic ahead that might hurt her. Oh, but that's going to be more of a problem as she gets too much of the sausage curb and spins, but she keeps the car in one piece, which is critical because she can continue to burn that fuel off at least. So not ideal, obviously, but could be a heck of a lot worse. She's still got 5 minutes and can have another go of it. Eli Sasick has also now jumped up to third position with that lap. What can Carmen do through the final corner? At the line. Not enough to take pole position. Though I don't think anyone's really expecting her to take pole position in this, but look at how hard she's pushing. I think she might have just started her lap, rather. So let's see what she can get done here in the number 96 machine. Again, if you are just joining us on a broken foot, had to relearn driving a race car on a completely opposite foot for this race tonight. Proud of her for not using that broken foot. Props to her for what she's doing to put that thing in P2 right now behind only Emma Kruger. Eli Sasek and Hayward very tight on time, so if Hayward could find just a little more, she could get back ahead of Sasek. Oh, a little bit of discipline there on that rear end. Good car control by Carmen. Coming down through stock car 3 and 4 now. The Meyer, number 96. Franchicha jumps Peltier sharp for 6th. Into the final chicane, extending a lot of that AstroTurf hard on the curbs and across the line for the number 96 machine. Is it any faster? It is. Another 2/10 for Carmen Hardy. Is she going to get pole? I'm not quite sure. Kruger is a long way away, but she is looking absolutely on fire for a shot to go at the podium. And that is absolutely impressive. Hayward in the background now, wondering now. She's just left the pit lane, so she is going to have another attempt to warm that car up, get those tires prepped, and have a go. Here's Emma looking like she's on a flyer right now. Trying to make the most of it now as she gets her way onto stock car 1. What can number 70 do? You see her headed down the back straightaway. You see cars darting down on the other part of the racetrack. Not many other cars on the opposite side of the track right now, but she makes her way through looking nice and tidy in the number 70. It almost looks too tidy. Carmen is into the pit lane now, so she's going to have one more go at it. Eli Sasek just left the pit, so he may have another chance here. Looking like a bit of a dark horse to contend. Can Kruger go faster than the 0344? No, it doesn't look like it. I thought the lap might have been a little too tidy, but she could be setting up here to go at it again. So that could have been a setup lap. Maybe she is preferring to use that double lap warm up really deep there on the grass. That's almost in grounds of a warning from race control for how much grass she is extending there. But looking really good. How about Riley Dunn, who's just thrown it into 3rd place? A brilliant lap from the number 31 machine. And oh, Emma is just absolutely on it right now. Riding on board with her now. You could see she was so deep into the grass, so close to the wall there, and she really was on it on that transition back onto the oval, taking a lot of the sausage curves, back hard on the gas, just a couple millimeters away. Something that only a few drivers can manage lap after lap after lap, and Emma really, I think this could be a huge lap for her. 2 and some change left on the clock. She comes through the final couple of corners and across the line, just an inch. If it was valid, it should be quick. And I don't know if it was valid. I think she might have taken just a touch too much grass there. And oh, gets it to Eric Navarani and goes up and over. So Emma Kruger. Oh my goodness. So Kruger at the tail end of quali here. Forgive me, that might not have been Navarani. Excuse me. I think that might have been I think that might have actually been James Wright, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not so sure. Trying to take a look at it here. Coming out of the pit lane. No, it was Navarani and Emma. Oh my goodness. That's a huge, huge wreck. But 1 minute 30 left now in the session. Emma's done. That's the end of Emma's session. What can Hardy do? She tries to go at it for one more attempt. I think she's pretty safe, at least on the top first 2 rows here. Through that final chicane, she's going to get one more shot at it. Where's Hayward at? She'll have another shot at it. So it's going to be Hayward, Hardy. Dunn may make it back around. Sasek might make it back around. I think, yeah, they should be okay to make it back around here. As long as they're at the line right now, they'll get another shot at it. So Peltier Sharp's going to get maybe 2 laps. Carmen's only going to get 1, so let's see what she can do here. P2 right now, looking to hang on to that, maybe have a stab at the pole. Time starting to tick away. It is Kruger on top. Can she do anything to extend that gap even further? One of the Judd Bygent cars in the background there. Here is Hardy. She's going to be giving it everything here. Dunn jumps her into second place, so a great lap by Riley. So well done to Riley Dunn for Nicholas Pressey E-Motorsports. We'll still have another lap to go as well. Emma Kruger going to have to sit from the pit lane because that incident took her out. Claiming that Eric was also blinking, so had no idea where he was. He just appeared back on the track, and a bit of an aeroplane crash for Kruger. Is Hardy's lap going to be enough to at least re-overtake Dunn? I think she might know that she's down to third. Checkered flag in the air. She's going to be the first one to see the flag through the chicane. Is she going to get any more out of it? At the line. She does. She re-overtakes Dunn. Hayward did not get that lap in, so can Dunn put down another lap? Can Sasek put down another lap here? They're both on laps right now. Dunn couldn't do it. What can Sasek do? They all inch closer to Kruger, who may not need to stress too much, but Eli Sasek has been quietly working his way up. Of course, he's got that second place last week on Rudskogen. He's working on a lot of energy moving in. He's going to slide it across the line, and that's going to cost him a chance at pole. But a nice lap and a good job keeping it off the wall. Franchicha comes across the line. He's going to put it 6th. And that's going to be it for qualifying, I believe. And it's going to be Kruger, Hardy, Dunn, Sasek, Hayward, Franchicha, Hernandez, Pelletier, Sharp, Robert, Simarusti, Zira, Bygent, Estes, Nabarani, and Henderson. That was awesome. I cannot believe that Carmen literally just took that car and put it in second on a broken foot. Kruger with a brilliant lap. Didn't even have to be around for the end of it despite the incident. Pretty cool stuff there. But the biggest incident of the night so far happening towards the end of qualifying with your pole sitter. She was going for the track record here and fortunately was not able to have it. So it is warm-up time, which means it is also now time for the drivers' meeting, as we have gotten a little accustomed to doing here in Aero Broadcast Network. We're going to get one more attempt at that in an ABN Champ Car broadcast. We're going to head in there and listen behind the scenes.
I believe it's a rolling start finish. I believe it's a rolling start.
You can't say IndyCar anymore, it's banned.
Oh yeah, sorry, this is Champ Car. That name's not around anymore.
Wait, what are we gonna call it? Like shitty Formula One cars?
It's just Champ Car.
Yeah, no, there's nothing against saying Champ Car.
Alrighty, I'm gonna double check to make sure that we're running the rolling start for this lobby.
No.
Because that would. It is rolling. It is rolling. It is rolling. Okay, cool.
I know, I'm just messing with y'all.
I think we should all agree to do a pit start.
You're insane. Alright, so rolling start. Because we're on a roval. You must use the final chicane on the formation laps and the pace laps if we have any cautions. You have to run 5 laps on each tower compound. Let's see, what else am I thinking of that I'm forgetting?
Wait, so we have to run 5 laps before we can pit again to change tires?
Correct, yes.
Okay.
And that is that you have to, so yeah, it's 5 complete laps. So people don't understand that. So if you pit on lap 5 and your pit box is after or before the start finish line, it doesn't count. So be wherever I think at this point everyone's pit stalls minus mine and Emma's are behind the start finish line.
I thought that the rules said it included in and out laps.
Well, you still have to finish lap 5.
Right. Okay.
So everyone's got 5 sets of tires. That shouldn't be an issue. No fast repairs, in line with every other race so far this preseason. If we have cautions, 3 cars or more. 3 cars or more. If 3 cars come to a stop, it's a caution, but someone needs to call it out because I can't see everything. We've had a couple cautions that should have been called, but weren't. So if you're in it and you know it, call it.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Something kind of clarifying. I've heard this question a lot going into tonight. Pre-season challenge doesn't stop. We just can't broadcast it beyond the night. So we have obviously races at Homestead, Richmond, Laguna Seca, and Indy to finish out the preseason. This car is a part of our soul, so we're going to keep using it. We can't show off this part of the community, thanks to iRacing and IndyCar.
I
But
think we should take
for
Motorsport Games. They're the ones who bought away the license.
yeah, but regardless, for everyone that's watching, let's put on a show. Let's have some fun. Qualifying in itself was a blast. So this is it's a track that a lot of people should know in one way or another.
I hate it.
If there's any questions, feel free to ask. The track is open, so anyone can be on track at this point. But if there's any questions, feel free to ask.
Oh yeah. For next season, speaking of like the whole caution thing, I wasn't here for the last race we did because Christmas stuff. But are we going to have an off-track admin next season to like prevent that?
We are working on it. The issue is that is expensive. So
Okay.
that's I hope we can, but right now we're working with what we got.
Is this track on the schedule for next season?
Yes, it is on the IRO1 schedule. Yes.
I assume it's rolling starts then as well.
Yes. Correct.
Okay.
Quick question. If we get to the situation in like one of the really tight corners where one of those just slides out wide or whatever, there's an incident, what way does that go?
You're going to be more specific there.
Sort of like you're side by side in tighter sections of the track and one of these slides out causing an incident. Is it going to be just considered a racing incident, or is the person who just accidentally
It depends. If you're side by side and you just lose control trying to give space, it's a racing deal. We're strictly cracking down on like the dive bombs and stuff like that, but we've been more lenient on racing incidents.
I have a quick question. Have there been any new rule changes I should know about since Let's Gogan happened?
No rule changes.
Okay.
Yeah, between Red Skogan and now, so much has changed, but our rulebook hasn't.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Is there going to be like strict enforcement of the no apron thing on the part of the apron where you kind of come out of the chicane back onto the banking, or like do you have to be above?
iRacing enforces it for you. It gives you a slowdown.
So just don't get a slowdown is the message.
Correct. Yes.
Okay.
If you run the apron, you're going to get a slowdown. But as long as you don't do that, you'll be fine.
Okay.
So the racing line coming out of the backstretch bus stop isn't to go onto the red, it's just follow the lines?
You can go onto that. You can clip that. I think everyone did that in qualifying.
Yeah.
You can clip it. You just can't spend all your time on it. Like you can't just pick up all.
I think the general thing that most people assume, or that other leagues do, is like you probably want to be back up on the banking by the end of the red stuff. But I guess it depends on if iRacing enforces it that strictly or not.
They do.
Okay.
Any other questions? Everyone, go ahead, Riley.
I think if you do go below the apron, like try to make a pass, it ends up giving you like a 1-something second slowdown. So
To 1.8.
Yeah, it's not worth it whatsoever.
Any other questions? Going once, going twice. Alrighty, everybody. Again, bittersweet night tonight. We're gonna put on a race. We're gonna have some fun. Very close qualifying. Can't wait to see what the race produces. Shout out to Christina in the broadcast booth. Shout out to everyone watching. We hope you enjoy it. This means a lot to us, so let's have fun.
No one can do Brad Keselowski into turn 1.
Alrighty, everyone. You can go back to your chats. Let's have fun.
Can we get a boogity, boogity, boogity?
Wrong sport.
Yes, please.
Well, there you have it. The final ABN Champ Car race debrief, or preview rather, with the IR8 team. We're going to go ahead and pull in the woman you were just hearing from of Carmen Hardy here. See if we can have a word with her and get her pre-race thoughts. Carmen, this is Christina in the ABN booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I do.
Well, we just heard you going through all your admin duties, but you've just put down an incredible effort on a broken foot, basically mirrored pedals, relearned everything, and you still managed to put it in second place, and you had to fight for it too. It's going to be hard to try and get a win with how fast the Gear Cats machine is of Emma Kruger. She is absolutely on it tonight, but you have a real shot at a podium, and in a car you love, on a track you love. What is the goal tonight for you?
Tonight it's about enjoying this car. This car is so much of it's so much of my life. You know, I started following this series back in 2003. Obviously, excuse my personal trainer in the background raising a fit.
I can understand what's being said, and they're just wishing you good luck tonight.
Absolutely. It's about having fun. The result, like I got a win at Chicagoland, which was nice. Obviously, the situation between the start of the preseason and now's changed so much. It's really about having fun. It's about just taking the time to enjoy this car for what it is and enjoy what we've done. This is our 29th race we've broadcasted, either with me in the booth or with you in the booth. Our community was founded around this, and I'm sure there's going to be some tears afterwards, but right now I'm getting my head high. There's still a race to do. There's still a race to win. So a podium to fight for, and yeah, it means so much to me, and just to even be close shows that what I've done has been worth it. So I want to push for it and try to make it happen.
Sounds awesome, and obviously warm up now concluding because of that extended debrief. Obviously, all these drivers very much involved with this league and. With everything here, it's going to be incredible to watch everybody go out for one last time in these cars. It's a shame I can't be out there with you, but I'm glad that you get to take part in what is going to be the last one and probably one of the best ones. So, Carmen, we are with you tonight. We are wishing you the best of luck, and no matter what happens in turn 1 and in this opening lap, nobody can take away that you literally just put it second place in qualifying against some of the best open wheelers in the world. On a broken foot. So take pride in that no matter what happens tonight.
Yeah, I'm proud of what I've done. I'm happy that I get to take part in this. Obviously, you got to take part in the first one.
Mm-hmm.
So we kind of get the book in this one. So yeah, I'm having fun, and hopefully it's as fun up there as it is down here.
It's been a blast so far. Good luck, hon.
Thank you.
So that's Carmen Hardy, our in-race reporter. We will be talking to her hopefully again, and not too early, if you know what I'm saying. But for now, we are currently gridding and getting ready to pull off for the starting lineup. So with that being said, oh, it's so exciting, isn't it? It's so bittersweet as the field begins to pull off and we get things rolling once again to see how things start for us. It is incredibly disappointing to say goodbye to such a good car, but we do get to do this one last time. We get to show the starting order, the qualifying results. It's going to be a fun one tonight. Emma Kruger on pole position with Carmen Hardy on the outside again in that broken foot. I really beside myself with how she's managed that one. Of course, Riley Dunn alongside Eli Sassick. Great efforts from both of them as well in the next row. Then it's Emma or Olivia Hayward and Frankie Franchicha just behind. Olivia doing nice for saying that she wasn't really in a headspace to be racing on top level tonight. Still putting in a great effort as she always does. Angel Hernandez and Lily Pelletier-Sharp both having good runs. Lily really needing to have a good run after the kind of night she's had. You've got Bren Roberts and Jason Simarusti behind, and Lilac Zier and Callie Biogen, but I think we've actually had a collision already on the pace lap? I'm not sure. It's behind them, though. I wonder if somebody stalled. Behind them, it's Estes and Navarani, then Henderson and Wright, McBride and Saucier. And I think we are actually okay. I'm not sure why they're in the pit lane, though. I think a couple people just opting for the pit lane start, and STK being a bit silly with us. But that is our starting grid for the final ABN IndyCar broadcast with the IR18. It's a lonely night in the booth for us, but it's not lonely in the chat. We are so excited to bring this to you one last time with some of the best. It was one of the best races in the regular season. It was one of the most exciting ones to watch. You can see your full field as they make their way into the chicane for the final time before we go green flag racing. It's Kruger and Hardy, two names that have been very, very quick as of late. They both have wins to their name in this car, an elite list of drivers that have been able to conquer a race here. You can feel the tension building. You can hear the emotion in these drivers as we've talked to them and heard them, and especially with Carmen. The pace car is off. Emma Kruger is going to lead us down. Few cars starting from the pit lane tonight, but for the final time on ABN with the IR18s. The Charlotte Grand Prix is underway. We are racing here in Charlotte. And so far, a tidy start through the field. One car barely in the wall there. I believe it might have been some lag, though. I think that was Hayward, so I believe it was a bit of lag. That front wing is back where it belongs, so just maybe a touch to the wall right now. Nice and tidy. The top five is... Oh, Carmen goes around, but keeps it off the wall. She's going to lose a lot of time there, but she's kept it off the wall, which is pretty critical there. Again, no quick repairs in this league, so... very nice there. She's not even going to have to go to the pit lane, I don't believe. Those cold tires catching her out just a touch. Kruger running away from Dunn ever so slightly. Also, the track going to be cooling off still. Got to keep that in mind. Going to be continuing to cool off as we transition into the nighttime. Kruger, Dunn, Hayward, Sasek. A big dive from Pelletier-Sharp, but it's not going to work into... Oh, that's a big wreck there. Henderson comes around and I believe collected. Who is that? There, it was Bren Roberts. So another mistake from Pelletier-Sharp causing a crash there. I'm not sure if a yellow will be called for that or not. I don't think enough cars were actually bona fide taken out in that. So back fresh off a suspension for Pelletier-Sharp, and that is going to be huge for her. Estes got a piece of that as well. I don't know if it was related to that incident or not, but Kruger is going to lead lap 1, followed by Dunn and Hayward to start things off tonight. But already calamity there. I'm not sure if she was trying to make that move and forced it, or if it was a situation of just losing the car, not having the car control there with the rear end stepping out, or over optimism. One way or another, she finds herself in trouble again on her first race back. But Kruger and Dunn off to a brilliant start. Hayward on the podium, and Sasek looking to take it from her right now. And how about Jason Simarusti in 5th, but Callie Biogen in 6th. So in her first career start in ABN, she finds herself there. Whoa, car missing the chicane there. That's Bren Roberts. Bren Roberts gonna go by Blake Henderson, who missed the chicane. Nothing, no harm, no foul for Henderson in the 25. Of course, the HTL league owner taking part in some of our other activities tonight. Great to see him in the car. But yeah, just blowing the chicane a bit there. Nothing to worry about too much, though, as Kruger and Dunn currently going at it, with Hayward and Sasek going to be fighting for what looks like the final step on the podium. Let's see if we can go back and see what happened to Pelletier-Sharp here. was getting a big run on the car ahead of her and just, yeah, that one was never on, and clobbered Hernandez, who really had nowhere to go in that one either. Take another look at this here. This is going to be from Hernandez's view. Taking it easy on the first lap, and Pelletier Sharp seeing a gap that she thinks is there, loses the rear end. And then Hernandez, oh, you can see him lighting it up. He was trying not to roll into traffic. He was still on the throttle. Unfortunately, clipped into Bren Roberts. And I'm not sure what happened to Estes. I think she had a separate incident on her own there that, yeah, she did. So I think she might have had an incident actually on the pace laps here. But I'm not entirely sure what happened there. Oh, she did? Oh, there was an incident on the pace laps. So that's what happened there. I think that was Navarani. So Navarani and Estes had damage from that on the pace lap. Or, excuse me, forgive me, that wasn't Navarani. That was actually team owner James Wright that had that damage. Or no, it wasn't. Forgive me, I don't know who that was. I think it might have been McBride. But back to live pictures now. Still Kruger, Dunn, and Hayward. So that was on the pace lap. And then we saw what happened to Carmen Hardy here. We'll have one look at it on lap 1 on the cold tires. Just over rotates the car and around she goes, but does a nice job to not hit the wall. She'll get that fired back up, and she's got it back rolling again. She's quite a ways off the pace. She waited for the field to go. You can see here she got the car fired up and she was off and away. So still rolling at the moment, but this is the battle for the lead at the current moment. There's Kruger in front of you. Second place Dunn is who we are looking at right now. On lap 5 of 62, Henderson just getting passed now by Carmen Hardy for position as she tries to make her way back up through the field. She's back inside the top 10. Now I will say it's not impossible to have a recovery drive. I found myself dead last after the first lap in the Grand Prix in the Real Deal full season race. It ended up 5th by the time all things were said and done. So Carmen loves this track. She shows her muscle. I think she still has a really good shot for a good race tonight. And if she gets a safety car, she'll be right back in it. I have the strongest feeling. She's just got to keep herself underneath her. James Wright has had an incident though. This was actually right as Carmen was about to pass Henderson, so this happened just a second ago, and he has jumped to the pits, so I think James is done. He's had an incident there, but I think he was trying to get the car going again on those hot tires. This is a moment afterwards. To those asking in the chat what the R in parentheses means, it means they are a rookie. And this is where James Wright spun around, and he jumped to the pit lane. I don't think because he had damage, but I think he might be out of the race with that one. So the gap between Kruger and Dunn, you see it on screen there, steady between about 1 second. And some change. Kruger's trying to extend that slowly as the darkness begins to come down upon us here at the Roval. Sasek has gotten around Hayward. Hayward not fighting too terribly hard this early on, trying to save a little bit of fuel, I reckon, because it is going to probably end up being another fuel mileage race, as it tends to be. More info on that later. But Hayward making her way around the circuit. Again, she said at the beginning of this race she really didn't feel too confident in her speed and where her head was, but ended up surviving the first few laps, ends up in a pretty good position as Bajent and Roberts are now fighting for position. Bajent going to go and try to hang on against Bren Roberts, and will continue to do so for now, but Roberts putting the pressure onto number 66. Seema Roosti a little bit ahead of this in their own island, and Pelletier, Sharp, and Zier having a bit of a fight, although I think Zier might have made a slight mistake. I'm not too sure. But Pelletier, Sharp ahead now after that incident. So Roberts now gets ahead of Bajent into turn number 1, and that's going to be move done for the number 84 car, who can now set his sights ahead on Seema Roosti, who's about 4 seconds up the road from Kruger, or from him rather. Kruger and Dunn's gap closing a little bit, ebbing and flowing ever so slightly. Callie not quite giving up this fight yet though, trying to stick with the Bren Roberts machine. Gonna actually have a really nice exit here onto the oval. Might have a chance to try and slipstream and get back after him, but did not get the exit that she needed to have to carry that momentum onto the oval. But still gonna try and hang with the number 84. You're looking at what a one-time winner riding on board with a rookie who is making one of her first career starts in ABN IndyCar in the final broadcasted race, ahead, chasing down a one-time winner on the oval. So, see what she can do. Angel Hernandez has gone in and out of the pit lane. Of course, had issues early on involved in that incident. Oh, Bajent really, she throws it in deep. She's such an aggressive driver. Trying to make something happen there, the Brighton native, not losing too much touch with Roberts and having a little bit of breathing space back to Pelletier sharp. So trying to see what she can do here. Not doing too bad, of course, having taken good advantage and survived the opening melee and put herself in a decent position. Keep an eye on Eli Sasek, who has been continuing to close this gap to Dunn. That is a lapped car on your screen. I believe that is Ruby Estes it is. So that is not Eli Sasek that we're looking at. Eli Sasek is right back there. And he is closing the gap just a little bit now, about a little under 6 seconds off of Emma Kruger. And that is the battle for the lead. That red and black and then rainbow car of Riley Dunn. Again, Riley Dunn's best finish in IndyCar to date was at the road course at Mid-Ohio. A 5th place finish there in the summertime. And Emma not doing too bad for herself. She's got several wins in this series, and of course is the reigning road course champion. So, or trophy winner, rather. The only defending champion on track since myself in the booth with the overall and the Oval Cup. So she's defending her crown out there tonight and showing why she is the road course trophy winner with a pole position and has led every lap so far. Though there's still a whole lot of race left for the Gear Cats machine. And Dunn is closing that gap even more now. Might be on a push to pass even, I might reckon. Who has now closed that gap down? No, that's just on pure speed actually. Push to pass 10 and 10. Eli Sasek has used 1. Hayward has used 0. Seamer Roosty has used 1. Pelletier Sharp has used 3. Carmen Hardy is on 1 now as she tries to chase down Pelletier Sharp. So she's used her first one there. She's down to 9 as she tries to recover herself back through the field, looking like she might have a shot to go after Pelletier Sharp here as the battle continues to ebb and flow between Kruger and Dunn. Sasek slowly whittling it down. Hayward perhaps saving some stuff, maybe just not feeling the speed right now. But yes, rookie is what that R denotation means. So Dunn, Sasek, Simarusti, Zier, Estes, Hernandez, Navarani, Franchicha, and McBride, all rookies in the ABN Champ Car Series. They have a low amount of starts in this league, and here is Hardy challenging on Pelletier Sharp, having a look up the inside. Pelletier Sharp shuts the door, not going to let it happen that easily, but going to be pushed quite hard by Carmen, who knows her way around this track and goes around the outside of Pelletier Sharp. So a nice move by Carmen to move her up into 8th place. Looking on a mission tonight, and Callie Bajent, the next one ahead, about 4 seconds up the road. A top 5 could still be on for Carmen before all things are said and done. And Lily gonna try to make a dive and can't make it work. Very bold considering the first way that worked. It ended up with a couple cars pointing backwards, but she takes a dive and a miss at the 96 machine, but still hanging in there. We'll see what she can do into the chicane here. Not much. It looks like Carmen's going to set sail and do it for Dale in the number 96 machine. Off into turn number 1 now. Pelletier Sharp down 1 position from where she started. Carmen down 6 from where she started, but granted she had that spin. Just trying to see what she can do on a recovery drive. Again, a very nice job to not clobber that car and cloud it against the barriers. And she is one of the fastest cars on track right now. It is worth noting Carmen Hardy, the fastest lap holder right now by over a second. She's ran a 104.69 compared to a 105.21 by Riley Dunn. And Emma Kruger 3rd on that fastest lap leaderboard, but in control. I think Ruby Estes may have had an incident somewhere along the way just now as we try to get a look at what happened to her. Of course, she had some issues early on that weren't really her fault. She's entered the pit lane now, so I wonder if she's had a spin here. Oh, too deep into the chicane. Actually hasn't hit anything. But I wonder if something's gone wrong because she's parked it after the fact and then jumped to the pit lane. I'm not sure what was going on there, actually. Coming to a stop in the number 20 machine. So back on board with Kruger now. See if Estes' troubles are terminal or not. Looking back now, it looks like she's gained a little bit on Riley. The ebb and flow seems to just be them. I almost feel like they're on opposite heat cycles. They are both pulling away from Sasek now. Eli Sasek not quite able to respond how I'm sure he would like to these leaders starting to pick up the pace just ever so slightly, because there is Dunn, and you'll see in the background here, there is Sasek, and not too far off of Eli, there is Hayward, and then it's a long way back to Bren Roberts. So this is pretty much the battle for the win right now in the periphery of a 10-second group. It's going to be a battle between a 2-stopper, I believe, and a 3-stopper, I think is what I was told by Hayward at the start of the race. Just gonna have a double check on that one. Yeah, it's a 2-stop versus a 3-stop. You need to get 20 to 21 laps in the window for 2 stops to try and pit on lap 20, 21, and then 21 stints. So that may be what Hayward's trying to go after. And I think Blake Henderson has had an incident. He's gone deep in the chicane once again. Doesn't look like there's too much damage on that 25 car, so he's once again going to get the Tombstone Motorsports machine back underway. Not doing too bad. He has one prior Champ Car start, which was at Fontana, which Bren Roberts won, who's currently running in 5th place. So this is his 2nd career start for Henderson. He's up 4 spots from where he started, so though it's been a bit of a troublesome race at times for him, especially in that back straightaway chicane, he's doing quite nicely for himself. He still has the wheels on it, and he's still on the lead lap, so he's survived the melee, at least for now. Roberts on a bit of an island, has Seamer Roosty about a second behind though, so that battle's starting to spice up a little bit for the tail end of the top 5. If you're wondering how Carmen Hardy's recovery drive is going, that's where she's at. Callie Bajent not far behind, so she has gotten around Callie, and Callie is about to be fighting with Lily Pelletier-Sharp now for position. We'll see what happens between these two, some of the more exciting drivers on the grid. And oh my goodness gracious, Lily nearly gets into the back of Bajent here, and now coming into the infield portion. On board with Bajent in her first race for Bajent Judd competition, of course the team that she owns. It has 1 win so far as Pelletier-Sharp goes deep and wide, trying to make a move happen here. On board with the nose cone cam for Pelletier-Sharp. She's going to try and size up a move into that chicane where she has been liking them a lot. She's on... Actually, it's Hardy that's on the button. She's already down to 4 push-to passes, it must be said, and Bajent going to probably let her go. No, they're going to try and fight this one out. Bajent hangs on for now, but Pelletier-Sharp not giving this one up yet. On board, looking back now, and I think that is Lilac Zier that has joined the party. It is. So now it is a 3-horse race. Pelletier-Sharp and a Bajent Judd competition sandwich right now. Kruger extends the gap up ahead, meanwhile, to 2 seconds, and into the inside. Lily gonna try and go for it, goes a bit deep, hangs on. Very skittish on that rear end, but she gets the move done. Now, is there anything that Bajent can do to try and get back, or will she be a good teammate, move over for Lilac Zier so that Zier can go off and try to go after it? Of course, Zier with that win in Dover gives Bajent Judd competition their first win. And Pelletier-Sharp goes wide, actually, under the pressure here. So this battle continues to go on. Dunn losing more time, it must be said, to Kruger as this is going on. So this is pretty much the tightest battle on the track right this second. Hardy not quite up to Seamer Roostie's bumper yet. Hernandez is fighting with Estes. But these are the lead lap cars that are fighting right now. So let's see if Pelletier-Sharp has a go into the final chicane. Bajent holds the bottom. On the harder compound, it must be said as well. Pelletier-Sharp on the softs into the chicane. Can't get by on this occasion. Might try to fancy a look into turn 1 as she did last time. Both the Bajent Judd cars on the harder compound. Remember, you have to make a compound swap in these road races. It is getting oh so dark down in the infield, but these drivers still can see quite well. We are now officially under the darkness in Charlotte. Bajent hanging on nicely. Zier with a brilliant view of all of this as it unfolds right out front of her windscreen. And again, a little bit wide for Peltier Sharp through the same corner she struggled on last time. It's going to open the door for Lilac to maybe have a go at it, especially because it's a really poor exit onto the oval for Peltier Sharp. Zier going to try and give something here. She's yet to use any push to passes. She may not even have a map. Neither of the Bajent Judd cars have used a push to pass. Peltier Sharp down to 3. She's used the most of any other driver so far. Zier not able to make it happen on this occasion. Peltier Sharp still floating around. Dunn starting to fall back into Sassek's grips a little bit in the podium battle. Now through the final chicane, really good for Peltier Sharp that time through. Gonna have a go once again down the inside and is gonna get back around Bajent. But keep in mind, the last time this happened, Bajent put the pressure on and forced a mistake out of Peltier Sharp and goes in a bit deep there herself though. Now, once again, does she continue to fight this or try to go be a good teammate for Zier? I think the fight is still on at the moment between Peltier Sharp and Bajent, but they just need to be tidy, and Bajent nearly loses the back end there. Holds on to it, though, trying to keep that thing underneath her. Again, those harder tires a little more forgiving, but they don't quite like that temperature. They can take the sliding a bit more, but they don't really heat up the way you'd like them to. This is the battle for 8th, 9th, and 10th. Nearing the first round of pit stops, by the way. Seema Roosti gets around Carmen as Carmen comes into the pit lane. So I mentioned we were getting around time for pit stops. Carmen looking like she's committed to that 3-stop strategy as she comes into the pit lane. And Zier has passed Bajent now because Bajent is in the pit lane. So just as I mentioned, we're about time for the pit stops. We're starting to see it. So I wonder now, has Lilac Zier saved enough fuel, as we know she's so good at doing? That's how she won her race at Dover, by over a lap, mind you. Has she been saving fuel this whole time? Is that why she's not been attacking too hard? And has Peltier Sharp saved enough fuel on her own time as well? So that's what we're going to have to be keeping an eye on. Riley Dunn into the pit lane now. Kruger stays out. They're trying to get to lap 20. If they can do that, they'll be in good shape, but Sassek can't hang in there. Hayward can. That is pretty on par with what I think we expected to see out of Hayward. We knew she would try to go for that 2-stopper versus the 3-stop. It's going to be tight for Dunn, Sassek, and now Roberts, who also can't stay out any longer. So there's the battle between 7th and 8th, Peltier Sharp and Zier. I'm curious to know if Zier pits or not. I imagine Zier will stay out. Bit of a gaggle there on the back straightaway. Henderson and Hernandez not on the same lap, but are fighting a bit. Bajent gets out of the way for Hayward. Callie just coming out of the pit lane and on cold tires, probably not wanting to have a bit of a fight on her hands at all. Hayward negotiating all that lap traffic. Roberts still in the pit lane. Peltier Sharp does come in, so she can't make it either. Zier does stay out as predicted, so I think Zier and Hayward kind of in the catbird seat here to try and save fuel, and I think Kruger may have the ability to do the same because she stayed out another lap and has started lap 20 as well. So the road course trophy winner and current leader looking like has enough control over this race to save the fuel to get to that 2-stop periphery window. So currently your podium is looking like Kruger, Hayward, and Dunn at the moment. But watch this space. James Batista in the chat saying, I think this may be one of the last broadcasts of these cars due to the IndyCar being gone from iRacing. Yes, it is. This is our final broadcast in the IR18, and it is a crying shame because it's putting on a brilliant show tonight, as it has every time we take to the racetrack in these cars. Why we would ever get rid of this, I really don't know, and it's a shame that iRacing couldn't do a better job to retain that. But that's for another different conversation on another day. I'm sure they're trying their best, and hopefully soon we can see a return to form for these cars because they are brilliant little machines. Jason Seema Roosti goes a lap down to Emma Kruger, though Kruger still needs to box. There's Hayward clear of the fray at the moment and has some clean air to work with. She's finished second 3 times, but now she makes a pit stop. We'll see what she can do. She was on the soft tires, so she made them last quite long. She can go on to the primes now, get that cleared, and have the option to either go on the softs one more time or try to carry those hards if they felt a bit better to her. Henderson also in the pit lane now as well. Though Henderson's looking pretty nice here as he comes in. He's had a few issues, as we mentioned earlier, but he is not very far out of a good chance at a top 5 here. Carmen Hardy, who, ooh, goodness, I think that was Bren Roberts that blew the chicane in the background. Carmen Hardy, despite committing to full speed, I think that was the play for her, honestly. Despite her broken foot, despite her driving on opposite of everything she's learned for the past 26 years, she's doing quite nicely indeed. Put that car P2 in an incredible effort. She is our in-race reporter, but I almost don't want to bother her right now. And Pelletier Sharp has crashed. Alyssa Pelletier Sharp has crashed in the 18. I don't know that she's hit the wall or not. That's going to give Bajent the position back as they fought each other. I think she's done well enough to keep it off the wall, but let's take a look here. It'd be the second incident of the night for her in the same corner that she had her incident on lap 1, just behind the driver she ran into on lap 1. Just over-rotated it. You saw the brakes glowing. Just wasn't enough to slow that car down. She's done a nice job to keep it off the wall. She's got it turned around and won't lose too much time, but she has lost the position to Bajent, who she was fighting very aggressively for the position, along with Bajent's teammate Zier, who is looking pretty good as she now finally comes into the pit lane. So Zier looking the best on fuel strategy as everybody. You see Zier in the pit lane. There's Carmen, currently sitting 5th now as things cycle back around. Now she's gonna have to make one more pit stop than everybody else, it seems, because I don't know that she can make it from where she's at. But as we were mentioning, despite being on that broken foot, she has so much speed. She loves driving this car on the limit. She hates driving cars in a situation where she can't push and can't really extract the character from these race cars. It does not surprise me that she would prefer to just push hard, especially after the mistakes she had. She said she was going to enjoy it. I want to talk to her so bad, but I don't want to break her focus right now because she could be on to still finish in the top 5 after everything she's been through tonight. And we'll see what that number 96 machine can do. Currently fighting with Bren Roberts, who is just in her mirrors right now. And you saw Bren miss that chicane a lap ago. That bought Carmen some extra running space. In fact, the next car up the road is right there, Olivia Hayward, granted a long way back. I don't know if Hardy has the speed to catch Hayward, but that would be a monumental battle if it does happen. Pelletier Sharp mowing some grass as well now. Gets back on track, no harm, no foul, but things kind of going from bad to worse. And right in front of Riley Dunn here. Not going to do too much to hold up. Well, we'll see what she does here. Now she lifts and lets the second place car go. So Pelletier Sharp having some issues with those tires. I wonder if it was a tire compound change that she might be struggling with. Really not coping well with those tires, but on the prime tire now, the harder tire. James Batista redeeming a hydrate. Thank you very much. And yeah, Pelletier Sharp into the pit lane now. So I think it is an issue with these tires, or perhaps she's picked up some damage along the way. Now, critically, she has to do 5 laps on each tire compound. I'm not so sure that she has done that on those tires. She's down to 3 push to passes, by the way. Your 2 leaders have used 0. Eli Sasek has only used 1. Hayward has used 0. Carmen has used 4. So Carmen definitely on the push strategy right now, but there is your race leader, Emma Kruger, in the number 70 machine. She's led every lap of this race so far. Well, just about. I think Dunn might have led 1, but nevertheless, number 70 has led every lap of the race that isn't in a pit cycle. I wasn't actually quite paying attention, so forgive me on that. But the Gear Cats leader taking a very nice stroll tonight as she makes her way through the chicanes. It's so fun to watch her drive around this track because of how she places the car. We saw how hard she was pushing in qualifying when she took the pole, but let's ride on board. Even in the race, look at how close she is to the walls. It's just, it takes a lot, especially with the worsening conditions of the daylight here in the center. It's not hard to see, but it does get a little bit more difficult as it goes on. This is about the worst the visibility is going to get there as the Bajent Judd car gets out of the way. I believe that was Lilac Zier who was getting out of the way. Could have been Callie, I'm not sure. But Kruger now back on the throttle down in the straightaway, and I think Henderson may have had a crash. Oh, he has. That is a misaligned wheel, and that is incredibly unfortunate for the man who was doing such a good job for someone in his second career start, his first on a road course. See what happened to the HTL owner. Looks like it might be going into the backstretch chicane, one that's claimed a couple of drivers tonight. Oh, wiggled, and oh, yeah, there it is on the right rear. That is going to be probably day done for him, and that is a shame. He was doing such a good job. He is still in the top 10 as it stands, and he was even higher up at the time. Let's see if we can get another view. You can see the wheels not having it here. Watch this rear end as it slides in, just nowhere to go. Oh, really unfortunate there for Blake. He's still very quick to get the thing back underway, but I think it's probably day done for him, which is a shame. But he's done a great job tonight, and you can at least say that he's still up 5 positions. Here's Bajent now, 9th place. Zier just a little bit ahead in the other team car, the lead of the team. Of course, that win in Dover. Hernandez back in the pit lane now. Of course, he's a bit off sequence because of the crash early on that lap 1 incident. Kruger still leads by a wide margin now over Riley Dunn, who, to be fair, was keeping Kruger quite honest and is not really letting her rest too much here. The gap has grown, but Dunn really putting up a bit of a fight. He's now on the harder tire, as is Kruger. And I think Roberts and Hardy are having a bit of a fight. I think Roberts might have blown the chicane. Again here, I'm not for sure, but I saw them swap positions and then swap back, and it looks like Bren was a bit slow, so I think he might have missed the chicane again. Carmen's still trying to go after Olivia Hayward. Bajent has been on and off the track. There you see her there getting back up to speed. She's hanging in nicely though. So Carmen Hardy rolling around at the moment, doing a very nice job. We'll wait until she gets onto the straightaway and see if we can pull her here very gently and have a word with her. And Carmen, if you're busy, no worries, but this is Christina in the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yep.
Well, it wasn't the start you might have been looking for, but you've been on a great recovery drive so far. Really committing to that 3-stop strategy kind of from the start with that spin, going for pure speed. How's the car handling ever since that incident? Because it seems like you've been on fire.
Yeah, fortunately no damage at all. Just had issues as far as like clipping the clutch with the left foot, kind of overreaching with it. Like that, you hit the clutch to the brake. No, there's still a learning curve here. I'm on a decent strategy, I think. Finishing this race on the alternates. I know that Bren behind me is on a different strategy. So right now, if I can hold him behind me and get a top 5, I think that's a good recovery at the moment. But right now, his tires are in a way better range than mine. I've just got to hold him off until that sort of flips over.
Yeah, you seem super fast. You did really well on that recovery in the first stint. Had a really nice battle there, it seemed, with Roberts for a bit. Was fighting with a few drivers. Worked with Pelletier Sharp. Nearly had some moments there, but looking pretty good. I mean, you feel like you have the car for the top 5. Do you think you have a shot to catch Hayward before it's all over, or is the strategy just too flip-flopped for you right now on that 3-stop?
I was certainly a little bit of luck. Me and her are on the same strategy. I do think right now she's 6 seconds ahead of me, I think. So I don't think it's out of the question. It's going to be a bit of endurance here because, I mean, again, I'm using my weak leg here. Mm-hmm. But I think I can. I think if I can keep where I'm at right now, I think I can chip away at it.
Well, I'll tell you what, you're on for a really good show so far. We'll let you keep focusing. Thank you so much for letting us talk to you mid-race. We know it's a very stressful time right now, but we got people watching and rooting for you, Carmen, so keep in there.
Not a problem. Hope I hear from you again.
Not too early, though.
Right.
So that was Carmen. Very nice of her to be our in-race reporter by volunteer. Pulled in during the green flag, and you could hear the exhaustion kind of channeling through her there as she was working a bit. And it's a physical lap. You're turning a lot, both directions. Those curbs with the force feedback rattle you around a bit. They really make you feel every inch of this track, and to do that as well with the broken foot, with the opposite leg. She's struggling with hitting the clutch at times because of that. She's working with her weak leg and only one leg, so on a track that has a lot of advantage to trail breakers, it definitely has been the odds up against her, but she's qualified second. She's running with a shot at a top 5 and looks like it's going to be battling Bren Roberts for that. What a storyline that would be to send us off on the ABN Champ Car storybook with the IR18, a car that is one of the most physically demanding in the entire roster of iRacing cars. If she could pull this off with a broken foot and get in the top 5, that would be absolutely incredible for her. What's also incredible and impressive in itself is Emma Kruger, who currently has extended her lead to 9 seconds. You see that number 2 coming through stock car 3 and 4. That is where Riley Dunn is. The car numbers you see are the positions on track, on that track map on the right-hand side, trying to help you out a little bit, figuring out who is where. Right now, Lilac Zier, the last car on the lead lap. You see her, she's a couple corners ahead of Emma Kruger. Not too long until she goes lap down there. You see her off in the distance. And Dunn not too far behind. Sasek hanging in there as well, but we believe a lot of these drivers are going to have to make another pit stop. So Olivia Hayward looking like she might be in a good position to try and snatch a podium before it's all said and done. Interesting to hear that Carmen thought that she's on the same strategy as Hayward here. I don't know if Carmen thinks she can save enough fuel to get back on that strategy, or is just assuming that everybody's on that 3 stop, but that is the one interesting thing I noted there as things began to unfold. Could have just been a misspeak as well, but one way or the other, this race is very much on. It is turning into one of those strategy game races, but it is still a race nonetheless, and the battle's still taking place all around the racetrack. How about Blake Henderson with all that damage on that car? Oh, he's just gone around again trying to maintain with that damage, but I was just gonna say he's gone back to the pit lane. I think there was too much damage on that car, but I was just about to say incredible that he got back out there for a moment despite all the damage he had. I don't think it's fair to call that one commentator's curse. That thing was pretty well destroyed, but he gave it a go and got back out there. So props to Blake. He's not quite giving it up. I wonder if we can maybe have an interview with him here, because I think that might be the final nail in the coffin for him. I'll toss him a message here and see if he wants to have an interview. And we'll see if we can talk to the HTL owner, who's getting a taste of our medicine now. And was doing quite nicely, and we do have permission to speak to him, so we will talk to someone who didn't want to give up, but I think had to by choice. We'll pull him in here in just a minute. So Blake Henderson, who we just saw out there. Blake, this is Christina in the ABN booth. You got a copy, buddy?
I do.
Well, we just saw you. You were doing quite well for yourself. Then you had that one little mistake. Had a lot of rear end damage. Saw you try to go back out and go at it one more time. Was there just too much damage on that car tonight?
No, I actually got it good to go after that, and I on my out lap I just bended again. So I'm like, yeah, I think that's good.
Oh, I hate to cut you off real quick, but we've just had Riley Dunn spin out from second place. Eli Sasek is now going to move up to third, and that is some significant damage to Riley. I think he might be done for the day. Just hang tight with me here. Things are developing as they always tend to do, Blake. It's been difficult for you. It looks like a lot of the drivers have been struggling around here. Was visibility beginning to be an issue as well, or was it just an issue of the track cooling off and the tires not being up to temperature? Because Riley Dunn looks like he is going to be done for the night.
Yeah, I'm watching the broadcast feed, and he's crab walking that thing really hard. Yeah, for me, it's just inexperience. This is the first time I've raced IndyCar or open wheel car on a road course in several months. I raced in IndyCars or a Shake and Bake's open wheel series, and I raced Long Beach, and that was like 8 months ago. That was the last time I've put this thing on a road course, so just a lot of inexperience. I was just trying to take it easy for a while since I'm just used to stock cars on road courses and some endurance racing. So this is a whole new level for me, but I will say the visibility on the infield is pretty rough.
Yeah, it looked like it's about as worse as it was going to get. We'll see what happened to Riley Dunn here. He was running second place, was doing a great job. Previous best finish was 5th, looking to improve that tonight. Gets in just a little too deep, I think, here on the retransition to the oval. And oh, that is so unfortunate. The wall hooked and grabbed the number 31 and threw it backwards. That is about the least lucky hit you can have to that wall. We'll see it here from another angle.
Yeah, that's one of the harder parts on this course, because you're trying to push it as hard as you can because you want to get on that oval. Because, I mean, to be honest, the exit of the oval is where you get the most speed. And
I'm surprised he's pulled that one away after that hard of a lick.
Yeah, because he went, what, 130 to 0, just like that?
Yeah, that one's going to be concussion protocol worthy, I do believe. We'll ride on board one more time with Riley. It's a shame that his race ends like that.
I'm surprised his wheel is still attached.
Yeah, me too. Watch here, just listen. Oh my goodness. Horrible impact there for the rookie who was doing so well. And unfortunately, it's it for him tonight. But that is going to bring good news to Eli Sasek, Hayward, Hardy. Now they're going to all get that position off. It's going to bring great news to Kruger, who no longer has to worry too much. Her gap extends massively with this. But now with everything calming down just for a moment now, I do want to ask you, how fun was that, knowing that we're probably not going to have any more broadcasts with this car, at least for the time being? You've had a couple tastes of it. You've raced it on the oval in that big event to finish the season in Fontana. You come back here. I know you're a little more used to the the stock cars, but I got to ask you, how has it been for you tonight?
Yeah, it's a different experience once y'all rip off those fenders. But I will say the road course racing is a little tough for me because I already struggle with it a fair bit in stock cars, which I like it in stock cars, and I like it in this too, but it's a lot different, and I just don't know what I'm doing. But man, I really do love oval racing in these things. It's like I've always made the comparison that open wheel racing on especially bigger ovals like Texas or something like that is NASCAR super speedway racing on crack. I love every second of it.
Well, we love that you love it, and of course, it's been awesome to know that, of course, next Monday we have HTL. You're going to be in the car for Michigan. You were DMing me asking for some tips, and my best advice was don't crash. That's kind of about all I had for you tonight as well. But we see Carvin Hardy taking 3rd from Hayward and then entering the pits. So with the fuel strategies kind of unfolding here, now that you're kind of sitting in the spectator seat, you've got the best tickets in the house now that you're out of this one. But oh, and Hardy slid on the cold tires. I think she might get away with that, but a long slide.
I think she missed the wall. I think she's okay.
I think she just scraped it. I think she's going to be okay. Second time tonight, those cold tires have caught her out. That's going to cost her quite a bit in the fight with Hayward. But what do you think is going to be superior here, going, I guess for lack of a better term, going confidence to the wall and going for as fast as you can for that 3-stop, or you think that slow, calm, collected 2-stop strategy is the way to go tonight?
Well, honestly, unless Kruger has a massive mistake, I think she's got it in the bag. For me, at least, as someone who has little to no talent in open wheel cars on road courses, the snail wins the race. Just slow and steady, don't make mistakes. But I think if you have the confidence to go fast, then go fast. Because and especially, I mean, you just saw it with Hardy. The outlaps, especially as it gets colder and colder, and I think a lot of people are using the black wheels or the black tires instead of reds.
That harder compound.
Yeah, it's tough. Like, I mean, that's one end of my race. I tried to get back out there and I just spun it.
Well, it is unfortunate that you are out. Hopefully, we can see you back in whatever car Champ Car decides to go to. It's looking like the IR01. Hopefully, none of this matters. In about a month and a half time, we reach some sort of agreement to hang on to these cars. But any closing thoughts on this one, Blake?
I mean, I had fun. I do wish the 18s would stay. I know it's hard and you can't really do anything about it, but I'm hoping the community pressures them. I mean, you have the likes of Dale Earnhardt Jr. pressuring you. I mean, you gotta, when he's involved and he has nothing to do with this sport, you know, maybe that means something. If not, I'm sure ABN and everyone will figure out something to do with the IRO1s. I think that'll still be a good show, but just gonna miss these 18s, especially on those ovals. They put on a heck of a show.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been an honor to have you in for a couple of those races, and hopefully if we get going again, we can see you again soon. And Eli Sasek has just crashed from 3rd place, so we're going to let you go. I think you have a plan to catch to Michigan. I don't know if that's the case, but Sasek on those cold tires that you were just talking about earlier, how you were caught out by the cold tires. We just saw Carmen Hardy, one of the most experienced drivers on the grid, get caught out by cold tires, and Eli, oh, it's just understeered off for him. And that is probably day done for him as well. Just a little too deep, caught out, and the ascent machine into the wall. He's from Grand Rapids, Michigan, and well, you'll be flying there soon for the Cup race. But until then, kick back and enjoy. If you want to shout anybody out, go ahead. But yeah, great to have you in and have a word with you before we let you go.
Yeah, Tombstone, obviously my team. Great HTL. See y'all next Monday at Michigan, and big shout out to all you guys at ABN for putting on fantastic shows. Some of the best IndyCar race or open wheel racing. I'm going to get in trouble. Some of the best open wheel racing and all of iRacing. So it was an honor to be in, for now, the last broadcast of these cars.
Well, thanks so much. Blake, of course, if you want to see some of the oval prowess from Henderson, you can check him out in the finale at Fontana with these cars, and you can check him out on Mondays in the HTL Cup Series, of course. They just had the Daytona 300. They'll be in Michigan on Monday. Myself and Carmen Hardy, who currently runs 4th, will be in the booth for that one, and we might get Strix as well. Again, I'm not sure if that was just for Daytona or not, but otherwise, we'll see you on Monday. Take care.
Yeah, it's good. Lord knows I can't turn right.
Well, it could have been worse, and we see now another spin there for Cimarusti. We noticed that he had a spin earlier, kept it going, and has had a spin again. So 6th place Cimarusti not doing too well, but things are starting to really change the dynamic here. This has been a race of attrition for quite some time. 3rd place Bren Roberts is about to go a lap down to Emma Kruger, because remember, these two, Kruger and Hayward, have not made another pit stop. They have not made their pit stop yet. They don't need to. They can go, if they can push to 21 laps to go, they can make it to the end on that one more stop. People like Hardy, Bren Roberts, they're gonna have to keep pushing to make it to the end from here. But this battle between Hardy and Roberts is going to be heating up, though, because we saw Hardy had that half spin. It cost her a lot of time. It puts Bren Roberts back in front. So this is the battle for the podium, because they are on the same strategy. Lilac Zier, not too far off either. She just crossed start-finish line. She needs to get around her teammate to get to some clean air. But this is currently the battle for the podium. Kruger just putting them now both a lap down again. Kruger needs to box one more time, but this is how it's going to end up at the end, because Roberts and Hardy are going to have to make one more pit stop before it's all said and done. Then Kruger and Hayward, who, if they can push it one more lap, will be safe to go to the end, and it looks like it's going to be Kruger, Hayward, and either Hardy or Roberts or Zier for the podium. So Carmen chasing down on those cold tires. Finally got him heated up. Second time she spun tonight, but the second time she's done a great job of the damage control. She's kept it under control and hasn't maximized. She's minimized the damage. She hasn't made anything worse for herself. She's kept it clean. Our in-race reporter doing a hell of a job in the number 96, trying to go after one last podium. Oh, she's so deep there. She's clipped the wall. That might be kind of sketchy there. I don't know how much damage that's going to do to the 96, but that could be day done for Carmen. If she's gotten away with that one, I'll be pretty impressed. That has got to be damage. We'll see if we can have a look at it here on a close-up camera. If she's gotten away with that, oh, she's definitely got some wing damage. She could make it from here, though, if she pits now. So I don't know if she's going to try to split that stint up and have another go at it, but she just needs to survive to the end. But, oh, she's hit it again. Is that enough to break the wheel? She's going to need to be careful with that broken wing. She's not making things better for herself. If she could survive, she's got a top 5 here, but she's going to have to calm it down and get it home. She's got a damaged wing. I think she now probably knows that, and Hayward pits. Hayward can make it from here. It's going to be close, but she can make it. Kruger continues on, which is only going to help her bid to win this race, because she's got the best fuel strategy right now, and she has the fastest car on track. She's going to come around. She's going to lap Hayward, so she's temporarily going to be the fastest, she's temporarily going to be the car on the track who has lapped everybody. There's Hayward out of the pit lane. There's Kruger behind. Again, Kruger needs to pit again. Oh, Hayward into the fence now, too, on the cold tires. Another driver caught out by the cold temperatures in the tires. That's going to be huge damage for her. I think the wheels may be straight, but she's now suffering the same situation that Carmen just suffered. lets the 70 of Kruger go by. So second place Hayward now fighting with Brent Roberts, who is just behind her. That's where that battle is, but Roberts is going to have to pit again, but Hayward's certainly going to have to come in now to fix that wing. That is going to be massive to her chances to stay on the podium, because now she's going to be fighting with Hardy and with Roberts, but Carmen might have just thrown herself out of the podium battle because now she needs to repair that wing, and we'll see if she can even get back out on track right now. That might be too much damage. We're done. Oh my goodness. Diesel saying, holy hell, she's lapped the field. Well, she needs to make one more pit stop, so she's not quite done it. Here she comes in. It's going to let Roberts and Hayward unlap each other. So that's the battle now. Hayward stays out on that wing. I wonder if she's going to try to survive. That's a significant amount of damage to that car. I would be very, very surprised, but she could theoretically tiptoe, because with Hardy in heavy damage and Zira in the pit lane, she could still be on for a podium here. Brent Roberts could still make a mistake. Emma Kruger on the cold tires. We're going to be paying close attention to these drivers, because the cold tires have caught out half of the field. So there it is in the pit lane. Kruger out of the pit lane now. She's on cold tires. Can she keep the car underneath her? She has no reason to push, so she's going to have to be careful here. The Gear Cats machine comes out. Looks nice and tidy so far. First calamity corner for the cars on fresh tires. Looks good so far. Can Zier keep it underneath her? Look at her trying desperately to warm those tires up. Here comes Zier out of the pit lane. Number 89. Fairly new to these cars, fairly inexperienced, could very easily be caught out on that. We'll see. Report from 96, waiting out mandatory floor repairs, minimal suspension damage, and the only thing that Ohei said over the radio, whoops. And you know what? For somebody who has often been caught out in those kind of situations, and it's been very easy for her to get on herself and hard on herself for those kind of mistakes, that is probably the best thing you could hear if you're on the 72 team. Oops. She's still in good position here, too, because, again, she's fighting Zira and Bajent right now to stay on the podium. She still has a really good shot to stay on the podium. She's going to be against Zira, but she has a lot more pace than Zira and is about a half a lap clear and does not have to pit. She's basically, unless Roberts has a mistake, is out of the fight for second, but she wasn't really in the fight to win anyway. She was kind of just looking for the podium, so maybe, just maybe, she'll hang on to that. The fight now is going to be between her and fourth place Zira, who you'll see on that mini-map. Bajent's a whole nother lap down. Zier just entered the infield, so she's got over a half a lap buffer. She's closer to passing and lapping Zier than she is to anything else. Oh, she's going to have to be so careful, though. She has a lot of time to give up, but she's going to need to be careful. That front wing damage takes an eternity. Back in my race here, when we raced in the daytime, in the summertime here, on my way back up to 5th place, after getting in my own incident early on in the race, I had wing damage for most of my my stint after I tried to make a 3-wide pass. It didn't quite work. Had to run in with good old Jeremy Breo. Love racing with him, but we came to blows in the final chicane. Had a little bit of front wing damage and had to nurse that car home. It is painful to try and drive that car home. It was the same amount of wing damage I had too. It was on that left-hand side. It is absolute misery. But once you get used to it, you can make it work. You can drag that car home. So we'll see what she can do. Kruger's done well with those cold tires. She's gotten them up to temp. Zier has done nicely as well. So I'm very impressed with Kruger on that, because this is one of those situations where Kruger could have a perfect race, and we've seen her make mistakes like that. She's done a brilliant job here. She's kept it under control. She knows what she's doing. And she has effectively proven why she's learning. She is proving herself as one of the best right now, and it shows. So if she can keep that thing underneath her for a little bit longer, and was that Callie that's made a mistake? It was Callie that had a little spin. I think she's got all the wheels underneath her though, so a mistake for the rookie, but faring quite nicely. 6th place on debut right now, with Carmen Hardy now back on track. She's going to be still fighting for a top 5. What she's going to need to have happen is 2 drivers ahead of her have misfortunes for her to get back in this. But, again, she's working on a broken foot. So, while the podium dreams may be over for car number 96, the race is not. She's repaired the floor damage, gotten back out, and Callie, she continues to have issues, is going to be fighting with Carmen. So, they're several laps apart. But, for example, if Callie has an incident or Seema Rusti has an incident in 5th and 6th, Carmen might outlive them and get back into position. So Gonna go ahead now as we get to the closing stages, switch to the top 5 on the leaderboard and show you that gap between each other. Because that's about all that's left in the race right now. You can keep an eye on those gaps. We'll probably switch back to the tower once again. Hayward's saying second place is doable. It looks like she started to close back in on Bren Roberts, who, by the way, needs to make one more pit stop. 7 seconds is the difference between Roberts and still growing now, 8 seconds. So I don't know that she's closing in as much as Roberts is pulling away, not enough. So Roberts needs to box one more time, cannot make it from here on fuel. Hayward can, though she has to keep in mind, with that extra drag, she could be burning more fuel, so she's going to need to be fuel conscious in this tail end here. But let's see. 72 car, 8 seconds and gaining between her and Roberts. Roberts is pulling away, so Roberts looking at a good shot at a podium here either way. It's just will she get second or will he get second or third over Hayward? Again, Bren Roberts on that go all-out strategy has 1 win at Fontana. I'm not sure what his best finish on a road course is, but I'm sure a podium would be a nice way to head into the new year for him. The 1MA driver doing very nicely in that car, that jet black car in the jet black night of Charlotte. Down to 15 laps of IR18 coverage on ABN remain. It is a sad, sad time, but it is a time that I think we knew was coming, and it just doesn't feel right. But kick back and enjoy as we have a few more moments of this to take in. One final hurrah for these cars. Bajan in the pit lane for what is the final time. She can make it from here, barring an incident. Kruger, Roberts, Hayward, the top 3. We're looking at Bren Roberts right now. Currently pushing that 84 car for about all it's worth. Still has to make one more pit stop. Riding on board with the helmet cam. This really illustrates how dark it is right now in the infield. It's been a war of attrition. Bajent has had an incident there. You saw just in front. She's gone for a 360. I think she's gone for a little more than a 360. I hear and see some serious damage. So Bajent is out. This is what I was talking about with Carmen Hardy. She might still get a top 5 here based on what happens. What has happened? Another car caught on cold tires. We just saw Bajent in the pit lane into turn 1. Oh, she's lost the rear, and that is a huge whack to the 66. So that's day done for Bajent, who was doing so well for the Bajent Judd team. Looked like a top 5 could have been on the cards. Unfortunately, the cold tires catching out one more driver. Right as I say a war of attrition, we lose one more car. So Carmen Hardy, Angel Hernandez, gonna be chasing down Bajent. So they're both several laps behind Bajent, but still on track and circulating. So they are eventually going to get around Callie. Seema Roosti 2 laps ahead of Hardy. So we'll see what happens with that one. And we continue to wait and see here what becomes of the final few laps. I know we haven't had one necessarily redeemed, but we're never going to see these cars on a broadcast again, at least not, unfortunately, for a very long time. And I think it would be more or less criminal to not introduce one more Crank It Up. So I think we'll do an ABN Crank It Up. How about you guys? Kick back, relax, and enjoy for one final time with these beautiful race cars and crank it up. Lilac Zier has had a small moment in the number 89 machine on her way to a 4th place finish tonight. Still expecting Bren Roberts in the pit lane one more time before this one is all said and done. That should, question mark, hand off 2nd place to Hayward, but for how long? As you can see, she is nursing a very damaged car on that left front wing. Emma Kruger, though, setting sail and about to put this one to rest. You can see about to put Olivia Hayward a lap down. 7 to go at the line now. Hernandez has gotten around the wounded machine of Bajent now for 7th. Hardy is up to 6th, but time ticking away for her to try and punch her way back into the top 5. She's going to have to rely on an issue from Seema Rusti or one of the other leaders. One of the leaders now, or Seema Rusti in a couple laps time as they fight for that final step in the top 5. But it is Kruger and Roberts now. 1, 2. We have lost several drivers who are up front and contenders all day long. We lost Henderson, who was doing quite well in the top 5. We have lost Pelletier Sharp. We've lost Riley Dunn and Eli Sasek, who were leaders, able to fight for the race win at one point, though that is with a grain of salt because Emma Kruger has had it under control pretty well since the start. But here is Bren Roberts in the pit lane for the final time. Emma's in her own time zone, absolutely, and her fans loving it in the chat. Great to see support for her in there. Of course, the defending road course champion. There's Hayward by Roberts, so she might have bought herself enough time ahead of Bren, but Bren just dropped, didn't have to wait on the fuel. This is where the battle for position is going to be. It's going to be between whether Bren Roberts on those red striped tires, on those that light fuel can run enough qualifying laps as he has been tonight, all night really, can get up to the back of Hayward and make a pass for position. It's going to be really tough to do, and Emma, for the 2nd time in her career, is about to walk away with a race win where she has lapped the entire field. The last time she did that, any guesses in the chat? I'll tell you in a few moments, but it is not the first time that Kruger has put down the law on these drivers. And really, it's quite incredible. She's done an incredible job to do that, and with the field pretty much as thin as it's going to be now, everybody kind of trying to survive to the end. We see several drivers did not make it there in what has been a chaotic race, but a fun one. And one final send-off for a car that we have had so many memories with. Emma Kruger is going to be bookending tonight's event, it would seem. She's 5 laps away from victory and a whole lap in the bank for her. It's been a great effort for that machine. Seema Rusti in the pit lane, so this could be interesting for Carmen Hardy's chances, of course. Carmen no longer going to have to make a pit stop. Carmen coming through the backstretch chicane right now is still a full lap off of Jason Seema Rusti, or several laps actually off of Seema Rusti. However, Seema Rusti on those cold tires, if he gets caught out, a best finish of 5th at Dover a couple of weeks ago, but a rookie, inexperienced. We've seen a lot of the experienced drivers get caught up. You see Angel Hernandez also in the pit lane in the number 15. He's got to be careful not to throw the car away, though he has less risk if he does. Seema Rusti gonna have to be careful not to stuff it in the barriers here on the cold tires. We've seen so many drivers get caught out by that tonight, of all kinds of degrees of experience. So far, so good for Seema Rusti, the rookie, getting up to speed in that number 9 machine. Looks like Lilac Zier has had an off-track excursion mowing the grass. She's not the first one to do that tonight. Does a nice job avoiding the cones, though. And Bren Roberts has crashed as well, and that sounded like it had a crunch to it. How wounded is that 84 car with 4 laps to go now? That will certainly hinder his chances to try to go after Hayward, who is a long way gone. And with those tires chirped and wing damaged, that could be potentially a huge moment for Bren. Let's see what's happened here. Comes across the line, going off into turn 1. Oh, he's just hit the curb too hard. He's taking too much curb. He may get away with that contact. That was a bit of a clout to the rears of that car, but it's not looking super wounded. I think he may just get away with that one. And a lucky boy to get away with that as well. But Roberts Still rolling. I don't imagine he's going to try to pit with 3 to go. I think he's going to try to stay out if he could. The gap between Bren and Olivia appears to be about 11 seconds and some change. Probably more than that now at the line. So Roberts up ahead. Hernandez is out of the pit lane now. We'll see if he can negotiate those tires. So it was Bren not on the initial exit, but on the first at-speed lap. Not even really losing it because of temperature, just placement over the curbing. Hit the sausage curbs too hard. Hernandez pulls over and lets the faster driver of Roberts go. Simarusti doing all right as well. Zier has had it off. See her there in the 89. She gets it going again. Doesn't really matter too much in her fight. Simarusti is a whole lap behind and has just unlapped himself on her. So that's the battle between 4th and 5th. It's still a whole lap. Zier just trying to get to the end in 4th. This is going to give Olivia Hayward a pretty good shot because there is Bren Roberts. Olivia Hayward coming out of turn number 4 on the stock car circuit, coming into the chicane as they come to 2 laps to go. Even with that wing damage, provided nothing catastrophic happens, there's Bren Roberts now coming out of stock car 4. So the gap is closing rapidly as it would be expected, but I don't think that Roberts is going to have the time to get to Olivia. I think she may just get away with that incident she had out of the pit lane on her cold tires. But for this girl on screen right here, one of the younger drivers in ABN, one of the most talented in ABN. She has proved herself from the very beginning with her debut race. She won with this car at Long Beach, raced her way all the way up to 3rd in the championship overall. She was the road course trophy winner, defeating drivers like James Pierce for that title. And now coming through stock car 4 for the final time, she will see the white flag. It's going to be 1 lap to go. There it is for Emma Kruger. It's the final ABN broadcasted event for the IR18s, at least for now. It's been one to remember for a lot of reasons. That ticker on the side isn't really going to tell you all you need to know with the context that is required. But it's all Kruger. For those that might have been guessing, Montreal Hyper Formula 2022 was the last time she had won a race by a lap. So she's done it in Formula 1. She'll do it in IndyCar. She'll leave us with this, a statement about what she is capable of and what she can do behind the wheel of a race car. It doesn't matter what it is. Lethally fast. The Gear Cats leader, number 70, is going to come around stock car 3 and 4 for the final time. And for the final time on ABN Champ Car with the IR18, we will say it, Emma Kruger wins it at Charlotte in dominating fashion, led, if not just about every lap from pole. How about Olivia Hayward on a brilliant recovery drive of damage limitation? Wounded, bruised, and battered. She'll be in 2nd. And Bren Roberts is going to hang on to close out our final podium with the IR18 with a rear full of Angel Hernandez. Great effort by Bren Roberts. Lilac Zier cruising around here to the checkered flag. And the number 89, she finishes 4th. Simarusti will finish in 5th. Carmen Hardy going to miss out on that 5th place, but with a broken foot on backwards controls, she will finish one of the most challenging races on the calendar and bring it home at one of her favorite tracks in P6. She survived when many with both feet could not, so credit where credit's due to her, our in-race reporter. While we're on the wind down, we're going to try and get an interview with her really quick. Carmen, I know you're not on the podium, but you are our in-race reporter, and you have just taken the checkered flag up with the odds more than stacked against you. Closing thoughts here from you as we put a bookend on an era here.
Obviously a lot of fun. Very Riley car. Cold tires, the darker it got, the worse it got. Cold tires did. That's one thing I think I practiced a whole bunch of, and kind of getting ready for this race. But it was a lot of fun. It is exhausting, but I love this car so much. The last few laps, knowing where I was going to be, I just savored it and took it all in. Emma, Olivia, Bryn, they did a fantastic job. They earned the podium tonight. I love this car so much, and I mean, obviously we're still going to race it, but it sucks we can't share it with everyone the way we've become so used to, because everyone here deserves to have that spotlight. And we had 113 people take part in a race with us this year in this car. This is our soul, and it means a lot to a lot of us here.
Well, as we watch Hayward and Kruger burn it down, we get one more good burnout in the IR18 on ABN broadcast, and I know the emotions are kind of everywhere for a lot of people, but it's been an honor to watch you go and rip it around one of your favorite tracks. I'm sure it's a memory that'll stick with you for a while, especially given the circumstances and putting it P2 against all those odds. Anybody you want to shout out to before we let you rest up for a bit?
Really just shout out to everyone that's made this year so special for us. When we started the 2022 season, we had 40 followers, and now we're almost at 350. And I don't think I could ever dreamed of that. Y'all make that happen. Y'all are so special and amazing and wonderful. Doesn't matter if it's me in the booth, doesn't matter if it's Christina in the booth, or Strix, or Kevin, or who else is in the booth. You've supported us in what we do. And this car's been the benchmark for it along the way. So shout out to everyone that watches and supports us. It's a dream for me, and hopefully it's a dream for everyone else watching and taking part.
Well, thank you so much, Carmen, and obviously words from the heart. Our in-race reporter, we spoke to her a couple of times tonight, and I'm sure the emotions are going to be all over the place, but thank you very much for allowing us to get a look inside the visor one last time with the IR18.
Thank you very much, Christina.
So we will now speak to our top three. We will go in order of the podium. We're going to speak to Emma first. Emma, this is Christina in the ABN booth. Do you have a copy?
Yeah, I hear you.
Well, can't really complain with that one. Flag to flag. I think you've led every lap. Not for sure on that one, but you've basically led every lap that wasn't in a pit cycle for sure. Win from pole, flawless race, lap the field for the second time in your career. Could anything else have made this a perfect race for you?
If Lily finished second, that would have been probably the best. But I don't know. That was insane. I just felt like I ended up saving. I saved like 3 extra laps of fuel. I don't know. I didn't feel the need to push at the third stint. So I just went for fastest lap and saved the rest of the race. So it was pretty fun.
Well, it was a really good effort from you. You had the ability to save fuel while still pushing so hard not even really pushing that hard because you were saving, but just pull that big of a gap on the field. Really, the only one who challenged you all night was Riley, and he had a mistake at the end of the race that took him out of contention. So, this is the last race with the IR18. You bookend it, much how you started your career in the IR18 with a win. It's got to feel good to have all this momentum, especially carrying forward, but not knowing where the future is going to be. Obviously, not with these cars. Was the momentum going to carry forward? Obviously, you're a very lethal threat in hyper formula. Any open wheeler is probably one that people circle your name and get a little scared about. But taking all this, taking what you've learned with this car, it was probably one of the most mature drives I've ever seen out of you. With everything on the plate there, what does that mean moving forward, going into the actual season of Champ Car, which looks like it might be with the IR01 and the rest of the untelevised season here for preseason?
I think it's going to be scary for sure. Those cars, I think, they're like 900 horsepower, 600 kilos. It's very, very dangerous if you are bad with the inputs. Mm-hmm. I'm just going to be careful, but also try and be as quick as possible. But yeah, it should be fun either way. Those cars are a blast to pelt around. So yeah. Looking forward to it somewhat, but I'm also going to miss the IR18 because I don't think any any car is gonna have the same magic that the IR18 does.
Yeah, I think a lot of people are in agreement with you with that. Just wanted to let you know one more time, of course, you are on the podium, you are the winner from pole. Brilliant effort, flag to flag for you. If there's anybody, obviously, that you want to thank, any sponsors, any teammates, any friends, I know you had some support in the chat tonight. They were rooting you on, cheering for number 70. If there's anybody you want to talk to or shout out, now would be the time to do it. I know you're getting used to it.
Yeah, thanks to all my friends that came out to the stream, and yeah, your support means the absolute world to me. Thanks as well to Lily for being a good teammate. It didn't quite work out for her today. She had a technical failure with her pedals. I think she was stuck at like 60% throttle, which is bad. And yeah, thanks as well to Ohe. We talked a lot before the race about strategy and how to set up the car. And it paid off for us, 1 and 2. So yeah, I'm proud of her as well. Yeah, I don't think that could have gone any better.
Well, those are some great words to end on, Emma. Congratulations on a Grand Slam victory for car number 70. Another race to your career, which is getting more and more full with accolades every week, that you have lapped the entire field. So that is one to take with you, and you are the last winner in the IR18, at least for now, in ABN competition. So congrats.
Thank you.
Gonna pull in Olivia Hayward now, who finished P2 tonight against some odds for sure. Didn't look like it was gonna happen for a while, but Olivia, you got it's Christina, you got me up here.
Yeah, I got you.
So
You got right into it.
yeah, you got right into it. I just gotta say, good effort. Shades of reminded me of somebody out there with a broken wing hobbling at home, but you did a little better than the last time. You are second place with a wing that probably could have passed for Martinsville. How hard was it there after that mistake on the cold tires? A good recovery, good damage control, but how tough was it driving with a wing bent that badly?
I mean, honestly, it wasn't that bad. Like for the 5-10 seconds after the impact, I was hating everything. And then a meatball didn't show up, and so I was just like, okay. And I was looking. I knew that Brent had a stop left and was right there, and so I was thinking, did I want to pit and take the wind change, and then try and chase him down, or did I want to just keep it calm and try and hold on the same way I've been doing the entire race, just to back it down and save what I need to save? And I did that first lap, and it wasn't too bad, and so I thought I'd do one more, and then I decided, yeah, I mean, worst case, he catches me, and I thought it was possible, but I also knew that based on the first couple laps, if I kept the pace that I had, then I could hold on to it. So yeah, I mean, I wasn't pushing the car very hard throughout the entire race. I just didn't have enough practice, didn't have enough confidence, was just kind of lost in what this moment is. And so I thought my best strategy was just take it easy and play the smart game, basically. And I guess it worked out. I was never beating Emma, so I got the best of her out today.
Yeah, she cited you for some help in getting both of you home tonight, 1-2, for some notebook sharing between the two of you, of course, and obviously you two good friends. It really, with where you have been, without getting into the details, we know it's been a rough bit for some of the drivers here. The confidence and ability in your ability, and the faith that you have in yourself these last couple of weeks, overwhelmingly more than what we've seen in the past from you. How important has that kind of been to be able to shake off mistakes like that and not let it compound? Because it seemed like within a turnaround of about a lap between hitting the wall to figuring out, no, I'm not only going to be okay, I'm still going to get second. How much has that meant for you moving into these last couple of rounds? Because it's really been showing.
Well, I mean, like while I'm in the car, the important thing is just to focus on the job at hand, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know it is easy to lose focus of that, but once I saw that there was still a race to run, yeah, I just had to focus on carrying on, and the car felt fine. It was a little bit slower, based on the lap times, but it didn't feel too bad, and so I had confidence in the car just based on that. And yeah, I mean, I'm lucky to have had a good couple of weeks of racing. I had the duel in HTL went well. We won't talk about the 300 too much. I've had some good times in officials, especially running Road America in this car. Had some really fun times in the GT1 recently, and that's really been great. And yeah, it's just momentum, you know. And it's such that I have to rely on momentum so heavily, but when I have it, I'm not going to turn it down, you know.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, you can't turn down a second place to end the IR18 era of ABN broadcasting, but you are on the podium for the 4th time now with that P2. We know you're going to get a win eventually. It's a matter of if, not when, but...
I could just keep collecting second places, you know. I'm up to 4 of them now.
You have 4 of them, but that is nothing to slouch at whatsoever. Obviously, P2, if there's anybody you want to thank, anybody you want to shout out, you're pretty much used to this drill now as well. Go ahead and shout out anybody you'd like to.
First of all, shout out to Emma. As she said, she did the heavy lifting. She gave me the setup notes, what to set the wheel bars to, and also the recommendation on tyre. I ran a prime, alt prime alt, because she said that the reds were better based on the last race here. And in return, I just did 62 divided by 3 and told her what the answer was, and said, yeah, the 2 stops should be doable here. And so sort of putting those strategies together was what we both ended up with, I guess, and it seemed to work out. Big shout out to Prismatic. Sponsors, gotta think about this. Certified Diverse, Go for the Gap, Gone Computers, Agent Inc., ABN, and just in general, a huge shout out to the iRacing IndyCar community, because they're strong. I mean, they've been very welcome to me over the last few weeks, especially, but also just all the leads that go on. Everything that the community has put into this car, it's really great, and they deserve better. We deserve better. Everyone deserves better than what's going on. But I know that the show will still go on, and we're still going to have some good times in this car. And so just got to focus on what we can have. You know?
Yeah, very well put. And oh hey, 2nd place, up 3 spots from the start, and for a girl that wasn't feeling too good of a headspace. P2, not too bad at all. So congratulations, and enjoy that one.
Thank you.
So P2 for Olivia Hayward, and one more driver we're going to talk to tonight is Bren Roberts. Bren, this is Christina in the ABN booth. You got a copy?
Yeah, I got you.
P3 tonight. Looked like it maybe had a shot at P2. You were on the lesser optimal strategy, but you were giving it everything you had there. Did you think you had a shot at 2nd place when you came out of the pit lane?
I was hoping that I would. I kind of put a damper on that when I got loose going into 1 and almost killed my entire race.
Was there any damage from that? Because it looked like you might have just got away with it.
Yeah, I think I got away. It wasn't bad. If anything, it might have made the rear a little more skatey through the corners. But at that point, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna finish this race out. And 3rd is much better than I thought I was gonna do. So I'll just chill right here.
Well, it's a P3. You obviously have won at Fontana, but your road course success a bit scattered to be in P3 to end the IR18 era, at least for the broadcast side of things. It's got to feel pretty good to get back up in the front and be able to fight for it and have a shot at a podium and a win tonight.
Yeah, I'm definitely not good enough to be talking to you right now. I'm definitely not good enough to be on the podium, but
you survived.
Yeah, I'm not the fastest. I'm not the most consistent, but the one thing I can guarantee you is I'll scratch and claw my way to the finish, and wherever that gets me is where it gets me. And I guess tonight it got me third.
Yeah, it was a race of attrition from the beginning to the end, it felt like, especially with everybody getting caught out by the cold tires. Your mistakes far and few between compared to some of the others, and the damage minimization was very good. Moving forward here, of course, hopefully going to continue to see you around, and with you and 1MA moving forward, you know, you have Hyper Formula on the calendar, and of course probably testing with the IR01. With everything you've learned in this car, moving on from this, what is this going to take with you into the next chapter?
Just what I said earlier, just trying to fight. I hadn't been in an open wheel league before this one, and you get thrown into with the sharks. So many fast drivers, and I first couple races in here. If you go back to last year's Champ Car season, I was DNFing because I'd be pushing too hard, and you just have to realize, I'm not going to beat Emma, I'm not going to beat you, I'm not going to beat Olivia. I just have to settle in, run the race that I can run, and go ahead. And it's helped me in Hyper Formula. I think I have the most, or I'm tied for the most top fives in that series, I believe. It's helped me in my few races in the preseason challenge, just continuing to fight. And I'm disappointed that won't be fighting in this car much longer on broadcast.
Well, you still end out the era with a podium. Of course, you were the winner of the closest margin of victory, not just with the IR18, not just in Indy ARCs, but in the entirety of ABN. So you have that to your name. You will forever be known as the winner of one of the most exciting races with this car. It's P3 tonight, though. Still a great effort on a track that you said yourself you feel like you're not worthy of a podium, but you ended up here anyway, and you did a great job to hang on to it. So if there's anybody you want to thank, anybody you want to shout out, now's the time, buddy.
Thanks, Steve, for broadcasting this. Thanks to Carmen for putting this on. I know there's been a lot of moving parts in the last couple weeks with, the announcements from iRacing and the stuff going on in the league. But to hold it together, it's been a great job, and I'm glad to be a part of this league and continuing to race in it.
Well, thank you so much, Bren. Again, congrats on the P3. We'll be able to continue following you along with everybody else we interviewed in Hyper Formula and in whatever Champ Car ends up becoming in the future. And but ending on this note right here, right now, you've done a fantastic job. Congrats.
Thank you.
So that'll do it then. Have a final look here at the full results for the race. That was the qualifying results. But the race results, not much different, at least at the top of the leaderboard. It was Emma Kruger by a full lap for the Gearcats over Olivia Hayward, Bren Roberts, Lilac Zier, Jason Marusti, and Carmen Hardy. Angel Hernandez had their troubles, but got across the line in 7th place. Callie Bajent crashed out along with Eli Sasek, Riley Dunn, Blake Henderson, Lily Pelletier Sharp, Ruby Estes, Eric Navarani, and then with that incident at the very start of the race, taking out Frankie Francicia, James Wright, Zach McBride, and Bryce Saucier, 3 of them before they even got to the line to start, unfortunately. But that is just about going to do it. And in an era of racing that we have fallen in love with this car, it is such a shame that we have to say goodbye to it. It feels wrong to say goodbye to it because we were in such a prime for it, but it is tonight that we, with a heavy heart, say goodbye, at least for now, to our flagship car, the Dallara IR18. It all started in Phoenix in the spring with a full record-size field of 28 cars to kick off an incredible year of motorsport mastery that we could not have predicted from these cars. 18 drivers have conquered it. I'm honored to say that I'm one of them. And tonight was the 29th and final event with this car, at least for now, on an ABN broadcast. And to the 304 of you that have followed us along for the 29 race journey since that day in the spring, from myself, from Carmen Hardy, Strixstein Pulsatrix, Kevin Young, and even for the Indy 500, Rick James, and then the entire ABN family of broadcasters and racers, we cannot thank you enough. But unfortunately, it is time to hang up the helmet. Definitely not by design or by choice. ABN and Champ Car will race on, with its broadcasts building more and more strength every week and the talent pool becoming more and more impressive. But tonight we say goodbye to a car that made this channel what it is, inspired many, and challenged us all. A car that we loved to hate, hated to love, learned to cherish over the last 10 or 11 months, and to be crowned the champion in it, I feel I speak for all 113 of us who took part and strapped up the belts and flipped the visor down when we say thank you to this car. We hope we can see it again soon, but until then the future is clear. ABN and Champ Car will move on, but our memories will last with this car forever, and tonight was one final treat to remind us why we love to race and why this car is loved to put on a show. Thank you, Delara, for a year of pure magic. With that being said, it is with heavy hearts we say goodbye to this car, but we will see you in Michigan Monday, next Monday rather, for the NASCAR Cup Cars at Michigan for HTL. But until then, from all of us at ABN, I'm Christina Ryan. Take care. Grazie, Delara.